A car like the Acura Integra Sports Sedan RS would be financially unapproachable, especially with its high-performance engine, power windows, powered door locks, dual airbags, and stereo with Dolby. But the Acura Integra is a lot more approachable than you might think. The Integra, available exclusively at your Greater Buffalo Acura dealer.
All right, a quick stop, and we are out of here.
At Mobil, we accept more credit and ATM cards than any other station, with no extra cost. Which means we'll take just about any card you might have.
What did you do?
Or have left.
Hi. Hi, how are you?
Take this?
Sure, no problem.
Oh, great.
We take almost everything.
Would you take a dog?
Mobil, how can we help you?
This is 1 peanut. This is 800 peanuts. Together they form a clever visual device to help you remember the new phone number for Continental Light that lets you fly for peanuts. See? 1-800 peanuts. That's 1-800 peanuts. Pretty clever, huh?
Now it's easier than ever to fly for peanuts on Continental Light. Just call 1-800-PEANUTS. Continental Light. More airline for your money.
Gonna take to the streets and spend some time on the road. I need a truck that'll take me where I wanna go. I need a Dodge, Dodge. A 4x4, a 4x2, yeah. New Dodge Ram has changed with all of the rules, yeah. Dodge, from America's truck stop, Dodge.
Now, get up to $1,300 in discounts from package value on a Ram pickup at America's Truck Stop, your Dodge dealer.
After you watch the game, call Sports Extra online with your Bills questions and comments.
Soldier Field, Chicago, 66,000 plus on a magnificent football as we open October. Buffalo, 3 times, 4 times the AFC champions, and they go against the Chicago Bears 2-2. We're going to see a new Chicago quarterback and a new runner in the Buffalo backfield.
Yeah, let's talk about Chicago first. Yeah, it's Steve Walsh at quarterback. Won last week. In our conversation with him yesterday, I asked him what his greatest attribute was. He says, I make good decisions. And then for the Buffalo Bills, because Thurman Thomas is out, Kenneth Davis starts. And Dick, I'm telling you, in the league, there aren't 2 backup running backs better than Kenneth Davis. Should not be that big of a drop-off for the Buffalo Bills.
Jim Kelly ready to go to work. He'll get the ball first as the Bills have won the toss. Russell Copeland and Bill Brooks are deep to return. Chris Gardocki and Kevin Butler share the kicking responsibilities for the Bears, and we're underway. From the 2. And it's Liddell, Jourdain, and what a hit down on the 15-yard line, and the flag is down. Byron Baker hit the return man, the rookie Jourdain from Southern Illinois, and it's against the Bills. Here's the offensive line that will protect Kelly. Parker, Lucina, Hall, the Pro Bowler, Davis, and a huge tackle, Crafts, who replaces Howard Ballard. Kelly has Kenneth Davis as his runner. Carwell Gardner will be used sparingly. Reed, the top receiver, over 600 catches. Don Beebe, the speed, and Metzelar's the tight end. When they go to the red gun attack, Bill Brooks comes in as the 3rd receiver, and Kelly will start from inside his 10-yard line as they mark off the penalty.
Dick, at the outset for the Chicago Bears now, all week long, they've heard about this K-gun, this hurry-up offense. It plays with an opponent's mind when you don't play Buffalo very often.
Kelly off to a slow start relatively. Has to throw this one away. He had Andre Reed at the 20-yard line, well covered. Armstrong, Fontenot, Zorich, and Spellman, a young front 4 for the Bears. Vincent Smith, the ex-Cowboy, Joe Kane, and Myron Baker, the backers. Wolford, their best defensive back, and Lincoln, their speed, with Gale and Carrier at safety, and Mangum is the 5th DB. 2nd and 10. Davis. And he picks up about 5 to the 14-yard line. Jeremy Lincoln, the right corner, with a force. And Kenneth Davis, who started his pro career after TCU at Green Bay and then on to Buffalo. And he is the 9th leading rusher in Buffalo Bills history, though he started only 3 times, 2 regular season and 1 playoff game. Kelly from the gun on 3rd and 5. Incomplete to Reed in traffic at the 20. And the Bears have held on the opening series.
That pass very low, thrown by Jim Kelly. Maurice Douglas, 37, was the man in coverage. The Bills start out going against the wind, Dick. Here in Soldier Field, there is always a brisk breeze.
Bears have not had success on kick returns, but Curtis Conway is a threat. He's back at the 40. Chris Moore delivers a beautiful spiral. Fair catch. Conway at the Bears' 40-yard line. 46-yard punt by Moore. Chicago Bears offense comes on with Steve Walsh at quarterback. Walsh, who played at Miami of Florida. Andy Heck, former Seattle Seahawk. Bortz, one of 3 left from the Super Bowl champions. Fontenot, Leuenberg, and Williams, the forward wall. Lewis Tillman, the ex-Giant. Merrill Hodge, who played with the Steelers, the running backs. Graham and Conway, the wideouts. Gedney, the tight end. And Green, Christian, and Waddle come in when they go to the 3 wide. Out of the eye, Walsh. Play action fake, and down he goes at the 35-yard line as Cornelius Bennett from one side and Bruce Smith from the other.
The Buffalo Bills know what they've got in front of them. This Chicago Bear offensive line, there's all kinds of changes on the outside. Bennett makes the first contact. He gets by Williams, 71. And you'll see it from here. Oh, nobody touches him. When you have a running back that tries to block Biscuit, no chance. Bruce Smith beats Andy Heck from the backside.
Tough to score, perhaps a half sack each. Now they're going to get Smith the sack, and that gives him 6.5 for this young season. On 2nd and long, they pick up a couple. Running back Tillman hit by Marcus Patton, number 53. The defense for the Bills. Hanson. Jeff Wright comes back. He hasn't played since the Super Bowl. Bruce Smith is having a sensational 1994. What's new? Bennett, Patton, Maddox, Talley. Familiar names at backer. Washington Smith, 2 new corners. Jones back at 1 safety, and Matt Darby, a new starter for the Bills. They've reworked that secondary. Down in a long 13. Bennett may have leaned into the neutral zone. And the give goes to Robert Green, and Green to the 43. Let's check the call. Might have gotten Bennett on the lean. Ed Hockley is the referee, and it is a 5-yard penalty against the Bills.
Offsides by the defense, number 97. 5-yard penalty, repeat, 3rd down.
Of course, one of the things about Buffalo, they play that 3-man front, but Biscuit, Cornelius Bennett, is their 4th pass rusher. There he's trying to cheat the line of scrimmage, and the officials are a little
double wing
in 1994.
They're down in 8. With Darby making the hit. Conway, a great job of holding onto the ball. Now they're saying he did not. And Darby came up, waving it off, and he was right, apparently. It's a good crack by Darby.
Absolutely.
Dislodged the ball.
That ball is caught by Conway. No question about it. And Darby knocks this ball away. Let's see if we can see the second foot. 1.
Long enough. The pass is incomplete.
I think that's an excellent call. Slow motion instant replay again shows how good the officials are in the NFL. I mean, it's very, very difficult to judge whether there's full possession there, but that is a great call. Walsh, by the way, put that ball right on the money.
Gardocki to punt, and rookie Jeff Burris from Notre Dame, the #1 pick of the Bills, stands at the 10. He had a punt return touchdown against Denver that was called back on penalty last weekend. High Sailor, fair catch Burris at the 17-yard line. And with that, our first timeout. They've not played quite 3 minutes in Chicago.
I'm bored. Let's count the palm trees again. Why are you looking at me like that, Iggy? Okay? Cut it out. You're weirding me, man. Stop looking at me like that, would ya? You're creeping me out. Cut that out, man.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Iggy, you're gonna twist my head off. Iggy.
Broncos, Cherokees, Pathfinders, any pickup or 4x4, on-road or off. Boy, do we have a tire for you. The tough LTX Light Truck Series from Michelin.
Hey, America, you like tailgate parties? We know you like cheese. So why not throw a real cheese tailgate party? Scratch off the game piece in this Sunday's paper. You can instantly win a new car or other prizes. Real cheese for a tasty tailgate party.
Chicago native Marv Levy, his 40th year of coaching football. And behind the stats, numbers that must concern the dean of NFL coaches, Levy, regarding the scoring power of his Buffalo Bills. Averaged over 4 touchdowns a game on their way to Super Bowl after 91. Then down to 23. Then last year, 20.6. And this year, 20.8, below the NFL average. While they're up just slightly from last year, everyone else, with the loosened rules favoring the offense, the Bills don't find themselves under that break-even mark very often with their high-geared offense. The screen to Davis. And he takes it out across the 20-yard line.
Actually, that was pretty well defensed by Chicago. There's Thurman Thomas on the sideline. Thomas is a much better receiver than Kenneth Davis. But at the end of this play, you're going to see Mangum, number 26, kind of blow this play up. He makes Davis hesitate slightly and jump outside. There's Mangum, 26. That allows the pursuit from the defensive line to stop the play for little or no gain.
Trace Armstrong gets the hit. Second down and 3. And Davis again with Zorich and Armstrong pinching in. Shy of the first down by a couple.
Well, that's got to make Chicago fans feel better. This team allowing 4.9 yards per rush. Nice little trap. 65 Davis on Chris Zorich, the defensive tackle.
And the Bears have the worst defense versus the run in the league thus far. Another screen to Davis, and he denied the first down. Joe Kane was the man in the middle of the screen and tripped up the play at the 24. And the Bills 3 and out for the second consecutive time.
Also a very quick pass rush by the rookie. John Theory on the inside really made Kelly throw that over Theory's pass rush.
So Chris Moore to punt. Curtis Conway, the former Southern California star, stands inside his 30. What a day. Temperature in the high 50s along Lake Michigan as Moore drills that spiral. Conway watches it sail to the sidelines and out of bounds at about the Chicago 21-yard line. And with it a timeout, 10:51 remaining in a scoreless first quarter.
These days, you can dial a 1-800 number to deliver flowers, order clothes.
Buy a chainsaw.
Buy a chainsaw, of course. Now you can dial this number to test drive any new Eagle.
Let me see.
Sure. Yeah, you got it. Thank you. Okay, Pete, now what's that number for information about an Eagle test drive?
1-800-2-TEST-EAGLE.
Eagle leasing?
1-800-2-TEST-EAGLE.
Eagle features?
1-800-2-TEST-EAGLE.
Party line dating?
1-800... How would I know?
How would I know?
Now, buy any McDonald's Extra Value meal, and for just 39 cents more, you can supersize it for more fries and more drink. Plus, you'll get a super ticket that could win you one of 200 trips for two to this year's Super Bowl in Miami. Just scratch your super ticket to reveal your number. Then take it to McDonald's to see if it's a winner. It could be worth a free trip for two to Super Bowl 29.
Free Super Bowl tickets? Yeah, where's the sport in that? First in line for supersize.
A ticket freebie, fella.
Hurry into McDonald's to see if you're a winner.
Sergeant Super Ticket. Mr. Going to Miami, man.
If you don't replace your air and oil filters regularly, you might as well drive your car off a cliff, because dirt can really mess up an engine. Fram Extra Life air filters and Fram Extra Guard oil filters keep out dirt best to protect your engine. Fram, America's #1 premium brand. Pay a little now or a lot later. Get a $2 rebate on Fram air filters at participating retailers.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Eagle. Test drive an Eagle Vision at your local Eagle dealer. By Bud Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light. By McDonald's. What you want is what you get at McDonald's today. And by Allied Signals Fram filters. You can pay a little now or a lot later.
The historic Soldier Field, Chicago, with so much sports tradition, especially National Football League, the Chicago Bears from the George Halas era through the Mike Dick Super Bowl champions of '85 season. First down from the 21 after a 55-yard punt, and barreling straight ahead, number 33, Merrill Hodge, out to the 26-yard line. Behind the stats, the Chicago Bears rushing yards per game. And as you can see, decreasing amount through the 1993 and here in 94, averaging only 66 yards rushing per game. In this city, in the weather that will be coming in November and December, you must be able to run the football. And of course, with Walter Payton, they had a great one through so much of the 70s and 80s.
Oh, we're rubbing it in here. This graphic shows how many individuals have outrushed the Chicago Bears. The combination of a lack of a running game and giving up 151 yards rushing per game, a very bad combination. I don't care what city you play football in. Dave Wannstedt, last year this was a good rushing defense. This year he's blaming it on the defensive line. On the offensive side of the ball, all kinds of changes.
3rd and 3, and looking for the first down of the game. It's Robert Green, and he's denied. Stopped at the 31-yard line, a yard shy of the first down. So 4th and 1, and on comes the punting team. So the Bills and the Bears each with 2 possessions. Neither team able to pick up a first down.
Yeah, Dick, they're playing like it's 50 below and stormy weather. I mean, this is good conditions. Neither one of these teams can generate offense to start. Chicago, very slow starting team, only 7 points to this point in the 94 season in the first quarter.
Bears have used a fake punt and field goal last week, but not in this situation. There's a flag as they ran into Gardocki, and Jeff Burris with a terrific return that's going to be denied. This is going to be the second week in a row that Burris has had a long punt return for naught, all the way to the 16-yard line, but it appeared Thomas Smith ran into the punter Gardocki, or was it Mike Dumas? And Dumas arguing that he was blocked into the Bear punter.
Well, they're taught to do that. I mean, anybody on the special teams is going to lobby.
And that's certainly part of this conversation, to make sure indeed that he had a clean path.
Comes from the left. No way he was pushed into it.
The player that ran into the kicker was blocked. That's what caused him to make contact. There was no flag on the play. First down.
The referee bought it. Watch him lobby. Watch him lobby. He's about to lobby. Oh, we can't quite see it when he sees the play. Yeah, look, there he's lobbying. And the referee, Ed Hockley, buys it.
And that means the big return by Burris of 57 yards does count, and the Bills will set it up at the 16-yard line.
Well, you know, they've got rules in the NFL now. If there's contact with the punter, it's just a 5-yard penalty. But there, Dumas may have been his most important play of the season right there, and just lobbying with the referee.
Kelly to Davis. And Kenneth Davis weaving his way to the 5. Oh, what wonderful feat. Davis finally dropped by Joe Kane near a first down.
Well, that was beautiful. Kenneth Davis is faster than Thurman Thomas, but they go with that counter, and Davis knows to stay behind those big butts. They can get him up through the defensive line of scrimmage.
It is a first down and goal just outside the Bear 5. Davis again outside. And knocked out of bounds at the 4-yard line as Donnell Wolford came up to assist on the tackle. Vincent Smith there initially.
That's one of the strange things about the Buffalo K-gun. A lot of other teams go with different personnel down the goal line. Look, they stay with 3 wide receivers, a tight end, 1 running back.
Make you match up to them.
Yes, absolutely.
Second and goal. Kelly hit from behind. It was 93 Trace Armstrong, his 3rd sack of the year.
Chicago needs for Trace Armstrong to have a big game. You see him, he's on Kraft 66, gets that inside jump. Also Davis 65. Very little contact there, just a straight line to Jim Kelly.
Crowd alive. 3rd and goal, Buffalo at the 10. Kelly to Reed. Incomplete. Well defensed by Mark Carrier.
It's a simple out pattern. Carrier right there. We've seen a lot of flags thrown in that situation. There is contact before the ball gets there by Carrier, and the official standing right there, but the play is allowed to stand. Incomplete pass.
Steve Christie, the AFC Special Teams Player of the month of September. A perfect 9 for 9. And a chip shot through for Christie. 28-yard field goal. And Buffalo, by way of the Burris punt return, takes the early lead.
Liberty Mutual presents Legends of the Game. His levitating leap and kangaroo catch in Super Bowl X made us believe that a man could fly and that anything was possible. Equal parts passion and panache helped him redefine his position. Who was this legend?
The issue is fleet safety. Liberty Mutual is the only insurer to operate its own driver-trainer facility, where one customer learned new ways to drive down accidents by 70%. Can your company use a crash course? Liberty Mutual, facing the issues that face our customers.
Lynn Swan made us believe in miracles, even when we could barely believe our eyes. A true legend of the game.
Adventurous nature lover seeks outdoor type for getaway weekends. Must like camping and hiking, interest in kayaking, a plus. Ownership of Jeep Cherokee, a definite plus. Social climbing highbrows need not apply. P.S. Please send picture of Jeep Cherokee.
Buffalo on the 28-yard field goal by Steve Christie has the lead. Joining us down on the field, here's Hannah Storm.
Dick, there was a big debate among the Buffalo Bills before the game. You got to keep in mind this team doesn't play on grass very often about what kind of shoes to wear here at Soldier Field. Some of the guys wore the longer cleats, 3/4 inch, guys that need to cut, like Steve Tasker. Daryl Talley and most of the others wore shorter cleats because it's newly sodded out here and pretty hard. But about a fifth of the Bills are wearing something unusual. Long cleats in the front to allow them to push off, short cleats in the back. Some of them think that that might help them avoid risk of a knee injury should they get hit. Dick?
Whose was that? That looked like about a size 18.
That's a defensive lineman for sure.
That almost is wide from the tip of her head to her waist. Christie to kick it off. And Nate Lewis, the former Ram, former Charger. Good kick man, return man, and he's out across the 35 to the 40. Excellent return for the Bears. 34 on the play. Kurt Schultz made the tackle. A reminder on Tuesday night, NBC, the show that everyone talks about. Outrageous, all-new Frasier, followed by a hilarious, all-new Larroquette. It's all new this Tuesday, starting at 9 Eastern, 8 Central, here on NBC. Now the Bears with good field position. They mark it at the 39. Neither team able to move the ball. Buffalo 3 possessions, 19 yards. The Bears with only 6 in their 2 possessions. Walsh down the middle. Conway incomplete and almost deflected into a waiting Buffalo arm.
Yeah, it's amazing. Chicago, with the inability to run the football, goes with the play action fake, and it holds the linebackers. Conway just above the linebackers, underneath the coverage. One of the big matchups is Andy Heck and company on Bruce Smith. Seldom will you see just one offensive lineman block Bruce Smith today. They'll chip with a running back, help with the guard against Bruce Smith.
Walsh 0 for 2. Action fake into the flat. And not much there for Merrill Hodge, the former Steeler, who's done more pass receiving than running here with the Bears. He's carried the ball only 5 times, and that's his 13th catch of the season. Marcus Patton there to round him at the 43.
I think you saw Merrill Hodge's left hand broke his hand last week in the initial stages of the football game. There you see the bandage on the left hand. Played the entire game. Hodge is a tough guy, was one of the co-captains for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They love his experience and leadership here in Chicago.
Close to the 3rd down 7. Walsh the quickie. Complete to the 50, and that will be a first down to Tom Waddle. Waddle, who has 13 catches, and now that's the 10th time a catch has produced a Bear first down.
Nice little slant pattern. Not a particularly big kid, but great hands. If he reminds you of a player, it's got to be Fred Biletnikoff. You know, he kind of stutter steps at the line of scrimmage. Freddie was not particularly big, but great hands. Same is true of Tom Waddle. He is their sure-handed possession receiver.
They broke Brian Brennan's Boston College catching records before leaving the Eagles, and no one drafted it. It's a terrific free agent pick. Under pressure, Walsh eludes, and Conway unable to pull it in. Mickey Washington there to break it up for Buffalo.
Dick, you can see the offensive approach of the Chicago Bears. Very, very conservative. In fact, some people in Chicago have called it vanilla. But they don't try with the real fancy stuff. They try for execution. That's a simple square in against the zone. Washington covers ground quickly, knocks the ball away.
Midfield, 2nd and 10. Hodge. And the give to Tillman. And Lewis Tillman, hard-earned yard. And neither team really able to establish a running game thus far. Tillman was right around the 100-yard mark against the Jets last week.
Jeff Wright making his first appearance since the Super Bowl. Hurt, going to the sideline.
Wright, who had 3 operations on his shoulder. He said, while I was in, they worked on my knee and had surgery on his elbow as well. The whole left side remake. And so excited about coming back into the lineup and injured here in the first quarter. 3rd and 9. Smith forces Walsh to think twice, and then the throw complete, but for only a yard or two to the 46-yard line. Burris there on the coverage.
That time Buffalo had 9 guys at the line of scrimmage, but the point to make here is that every pass pattern now that the Bears have run, the receivers are almost dead stop. They're not running, catching the ball. And in order for a pass game to work, you need to get them in stride.
Bartowski to Burris is proving to be a very dangerous punt return man. Burris had to go right down the well. Maurice Douglas for Chicago, and the Bears have it outside the 10.
Burris has a good beat on it. Watch him get back on his heels. When he gets back on his heels, he can't regain his balance. Ball pops right away.
Right down the chute.
Right down
Didn't hit his hands at all. So Burris with a big kick return of 57 yards to set up the field goal. And now the gift. The Bears can get a first down. They're just outside the Bills' 10. Tillman. And with a second effort to the 5-yard line. Oliver Barnett makes the stop. Maurice Douglas on special teams, giving the Bears a chance for the lead.
Well, that was a gift. All he had to do was get down there, and Burris coughed it up for him. A young man with great character, going to be a heck of a player in the NFL, but the price you pay as a rookie is that you got to be on these special teams. He did a lot of things for Notre Dame. Returning punts, I don't believe, was one of them.
Conway right. And Jeff Graham to the left on 2nd and 4. Tillman again. Stop and start, and a gain of just 1. Thomas Smith from a corner comes in to help out the linebackers. And it'll be 3rd and 3.
Well, the Bears keep trying to run the football in a lot of different ways. Running motion to try to find a little dent in the defensive line, but they're just totally ineffective. And as we showed you graphically, this is not the first season they've been ineffective running the ball.
The starters, Tillman and Hodge, go out. They come in with a rookie, Raymond Harris from Ohio State, and a second tight end, Marvin Cook, the former Patriot. That's Cook in motion. Walsh to Cook at the 1-yard line. No touchdown, but it might be a first down as Darby collaborated with Mickey Washington on the tackle, and let's see where they spot it.
Dick, I don't think there's any choice here. Whether they've made it or not, you go for it.
So they will call in the chains for the measurement.
Actually, that's a pretty good job of Darby and Washington keeping Cook at almost 255 pounds out of the end zone.
So it's 4th and that much.
It's a no-brainer. Wannstedt is one of those coaches. He coaches 24 hours a day. Back in the offseason, he had knee surgery, arthroscopic knee surgery. The first thing he said when he woke up from the anesthetic, did we sign Lewis Tillman? Not how am I, where am I, did we sign Lewis Tillman? He never stops coaching.
And he has a bit of gambler's blood in him, as he showed last week against the Jets. Fake field goal, fake punt. There's a little Jimmy Johnson rubbed off on me. Hodge back in with Tillman. 4th and inches. Hit in midair as Henry Jones came up from a safety spot to help out. Darryl Talley, the veteran linebacker, was right there to say hello.
Uh-oh.
And it's all a matter of how they spot it. Another measurement.
There comes a point in a season where you show confidence in your football team. Say 4th and inches, we can make it. This will set us right. We'll get a score here. At least we got 4 downs. And they don't get it, or do they?
Oh, is that going to be close? By 2 lengths, it's Buffalo's ball.
The right choice. He made the right choice because he's trying to help his football team. Low man wins in this situation. Bruce Smith was underneath. Talley stands up. Bruce Smith is able to stand up and make the contact. Here's Talley, 56. The heart and soul of that defense make the stop. Smith and Talley.
Wow, it is roomy inside. This must be the cab Ford design I read about. How's it handled?
Well, to demonstrate, I'll only be driving this Eagle Vision from the back seat. Hit it, Lynn.
This Eagle Vision has everything.
Take a left here, Lynn.
Okay. It's got a cool CD player, dual airbags.
Take a right here. See, we got these cooling and heating vents in the back. Left here. It handles just like a sports coupe, right?
Right?
No, left. Left! Lynn. Oh, boy.
With ITT Financial Resources, ITT's automotive division developed traction control, engineered advanced wiper systems, and pioneered anti-lock brakes. And we plan to invest $2.7 billion in the next 5 years to make cars even safer. If you've never thought about who makes the parts in your car, maybe it's time you did. ITT.
With so many people still enjoying the service and convenience of their local True Value, another use may have to be found for those humongous hardware warehouses. This month at True Value, get Rubbermaid's 30-gallon trash can for just $7.77 and a Kidde home fire extinguisher for only $8.99.
Tower, I think I once bought a lawnmower here.
True Value. Help is just around the corner.
It's a cloud of insanity.
It's inside my head!
Trying to stop it only gives it life.
It's the face of God.
Journey into the unknown. Sequest tonight. Her daughter murdered by someone she knows. The killer might be here. Inspired by one mother's search for the truth.
Are you waiting for it to happen again?
Marquee Post, Someone She Knows, NBC Monday.
Rookie Jeff Burris, he wore number 9 when at Notre Dame. He was in a big smile a moment ago after he saw that defense hold at the 1-yard line after his muff punt. So Kelly takes over at the 1 and hands off to the fullback, and it's Carwell Gardner who's out across the 5-yard line.
Dick, one of the things that offenses do is watch tape, pick on a guy they're going to run against. It's Chris Zorich, double team. Carwell Gardner goes just to the outside. Now, Zorich is size-wise a little short. Carries the weight, but he's just a little short. Offenses take advantage of it.
Davis trapped and down for a loss. As number 91, Myron Baker, second-year backer from Louisiana Tech, and Zorich with an assist.
This is about as poor a performance offensively as I've seen the Bills have in the opening stages of a football game here. Maybe it is in part the win, but they haven't established anything here, Dick.
Neither team able to run it. Now Kelly, third and long, and the handoff to Davis. Gets to the 10, the 11. That's going to be very close. Zorich rides him down from on top, and Trace Armstrong down around the ankles. And it'll be close to a first down at the 11. And they'll measure once again. They come in. You saw the shot of Marv Levy, who grew up on the south side of Chicago. His dad, a big football fan. He said he can remember when he was a toddler, his dad taking him on the Midway, where the Bears in the early years played. George Halas, the owner, he actually stood on the sidelines and watched the game. And at the end of, you can see it is just enough for the first down. He said at the end of the game, they passed the hat around to pay the players. He said, I was the first salary cap.
First salary cap. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if George Halas had that in his own hand, too, collecting that money.
Saw Bronco Nagurski play as a kid. Bill Osmanski.
That's going way back.
So just as the Bears narrowly miss the first down and goal, the Bills get it by a bare inch, and Kelly fires for about 6 yards. Andre Reed, his 25th catch of this season. He leads the Bills once again.
This is Donnell Wolford. This is a great matchup all day long. As long as Reed is on the outside, Wolford is going to get him. Wolford, not a particularly big kid, one of the best coverage corners in the league.
5. Changing his play. It's Brooks. Pushed it out of bounds, shy of the first down at the 20-yard line. John Mangum from Alabama, the 5th defensive back being used by Dave Wannstedt, using the 5 DBs against that red gun attack, denies the first time as we come down to the final seconds of this first quarter, and that perhaps the last play.
I think one of the amazing things about this K-gun offense is Kelly's ability to spread the ball around. He never seems to really have a favorite receiver. He goes to the guy that's open.
So when the second quarter begins, it'll be the Bills' 3rd and a yard and a half, leading 3-0.
Boy, first facts. What do you make of that?
Was gibt es hier?
With CD-ROM, Message Center, integrated television, and speakerphone, the Compact Presario is powerful enough to run a small business.
Hello?
Hi, Adam. It's Mom. Where's Dad?
He's watching TV.
And simple enough to expand a child's horizons.
What are you doing?
Going to fax.
Oh, really?
Go ahead. Make a wish. Then share it with your Allstate agent, who knows planning makes wishes come true, and who can outline a life insurance plan to assure family security and college funding and a comfy retirement are in the stars for you. So make your wish and trust it to your Allstate agent, who wants to be your agent for life.
Next week is my 5th wedding anniversary. It's unbelievable how time flies.
Did you get her a present yet?
Yeah, I'm getting her a really nice washer and dryer.
Oh, come on. She'll never forgive you. You gotta get her something for her.
It is for her.
No blondes in bikinis.
Get her jewelry.
No sales pitch from the chairman.
Or vacation.
None of that is what made Heineken the #1 imported beer in America.
You think I should take her someplace special?
Definitely.
So maybe I'll take her to Cooperstown.
No.
True to his biography, armed and dangerous, Jim Kelly, now 34 years of age. He takes the Bills into the second quarter with a 3-0 lead. Jim Kelly, more than a number. And Kelly, who has had a number of fans, many of them female, apparently is going to disappoint a lot of young ladies in Western New York, because he has a steady girlfriend now.
Yeah, and all his brothers like her, which that's got to be one tough lady. He has formed a friendship with Al Unser Jr. too in the offseason. Got his helmet that Jr. wore at Indianapolis 500. They're going to go snowmobiling together this winter out in New Mexico.
Yeah, north of Albuquerque, where Al makes his home. Gardner on 3rd and short has the first down at the 24-yard line.
His girlfriend, by the way, Jill Wagoner. And
he never would tell us the names of his girlfriends before, so I guess this is serious. That'll make Mom happy in East Brady, Pennsylvania.
I never saw him with anybody else. I never saw him with anybody else.
On first down, Kenneth Davis behind some blocking is out to the 27, 28-yard line before Joe Kane can make the stop.
This is the one play that people just can't seem to stop. It's the counter. They block down. Davis does it. Everybody that's in the back of that, behind that offensive line, Buffalo does this better than anybody. The Redskins used to do it in the early 80s, and now Buffalo has made that the main staple of their offense.
Second down and 5, and Kelly with that quick or no huddle, plenty of time at the line of scrimmage. Changes mind. Davis, no gain that time. There's Myron Baker, the linebacker, there to stop things. That means that the Bills have rushed 8 times for 27 yards in this first half.
That much. 8 for 27. But the one thing about Buffalo, Dick, is they will keep running the football. They do not give up on it.
Actually, a half-yard loss, so call it 3rd down and 6. Kelly. Oh, what a catch. Far sideline. Looked to be Reed leaning out there. Andre Reed. It was over the 600 catch mark.
This is an all-pro versus an all-pro. Reed loves the matchup. Donnell Wolford loves the matchup. That one, Reed wins. Ball perfectly thrown by Jim Kelly.
Reed's second catch today. Now up to 612 in his brilliant career with the Bears. Kelly flag down. That's probably for a hold as one of the big linemen helping him out. And indeed against the Bills.
Carl Simpson had the good pass rush. We think it's Lacina.
Holding by the offense, number 62. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Carl Simpson, number 98, is the man on the pass rush. Here's Simpson right here. He gets right inside the offensive right guard, and Lacina just grabs a hold of the jersey.
Mike Devlin, who is guilty of the hold. Devlin in there playing at a guard position.
Well, thank you very much for correcting me, Dick. I apologize.
Didn't expect to see him, and of course that offensive line's been totally reworked with Howard Ballard off to Seattle, plus the entry to John Fina. Davis trapped, and nothing there for Kenneth Davis, and the Bears getting tougher defensively.
He ran behind the blocking there.
Alonzo Spellman-Zoe from Ohio State.
Credit the Bear tackle to Spellman.
This guy wears an 18 shoe. He's behind the play, and Kenneth Davis cuts back here. And Spellman there to make the stop for little or no gain.
Second and 21. Kelly and the Bills leading 3-0 here in the second quarter. Down the middle to Reed. Oh! Mark Carrier wasn't looking at the ball, but at the man he was about to tackle, or that could have been an interception.
Well, frankly, Andre Reed wasn't looking at the ball either. He was the intended receiver.
Talk about being in the Bears' lair. There were about 5 blue jerseys around him.
Zorich on the pass rush gets to Jim Kelly, and now at the other end, you're going to see this ball. Watch where Andre Reed, well, he does see the ball, but the ball is thrown over his head. He doesn't even extend his arms to try to make the catch.
12th play of this drive that started at the 1-yard line. They're out to the 26. Third and long. Kelly a ton of time. To Reed. Intercepted by Wolford at the Bear 41. Wolford's first interception of the year.
That's Jim Kelly's 7th interception throw.
Timeout, 12-12 left in the half. 3-0 Buffalo.
There are good reasons why Ford Taurus is America's best-selling car. The 220 horsepower, no-compromise performance of Taurus SHO. The combination of outstanding design and extra room in Taurus wagon. And the latest addition to the Taurus family, the sporty new Taurus SE. Now there are even more reasons for you to make America's best-selling car your car. 2.9% financing, up to $750 cash back, or special lease terms. Now on Ford Taurus.
The forecast called for a calm, quiet meeting, but a tempest rages instead. It's often the case in today's international business climate, which is why we prepared a place high above it all, with worldly comforts that refresh, restore, and renew. United Airlines, the calm before and after the storm. Come fly the airline that's uniting the world. Come fly our friendly skies.
Please be advised, you may need a bigger TV to hold all this food. Introducing the new Mega Meal from KFC, the biggest meal deal America has ever seen. A whole Colonel's Rotisserie Gold, or 8 pieces of original recipe chicken. Potato wedges, Kentucky nuggets, mashed potatoes and gravy, coleslaw, biscuits, even a whole apple pie. All this for just $14.99. You couldn't even get 2 large pizzas for that. No wonder we call it the Mega Meal.
A lot of food, not a lot of money. You can't beat that.
When the quarterback has to scramble, what the receivers must do is clear out. This is Andre Reed. He runs the out pattern, and then he turns up. These guys over here should try to make themselves receivers when Kelly comes out in the flat. But Kelly, with all kinds of time here, waits and waits and waits. The inside receiver should come back and make himself a receiver for Kelly to throw to. He just throws it up in desperation. His 7th interception. Bears ball.
Meanwhile, the Chicago Bears, this is their 4th possession, have only 30 total yards on offense and 1 first down. They begin from the 41. And they get to Conway on the reverse. And Curtis Conway gets 9 out to the 50.
But it's awful early to be running reverses. They've had little success running the ball at all. This is a great pursuit defense from Buffalo. Talley loses containment, but Washington 25. The cornerback actually does a pretty good job to get across the field and assist on the tackle.
Darryl Talley played in 193 consecutive games with the Bills. Made the tackle. 2nd and 1. Jeff Graham has a first down at the Buffalo 32. Marcus Patton the tackle.
This is beautiful. Watch what the play action fake does. See, it holds Patton, the linebacker, 53 or 55. The Maddox, the linebacker, in there just tight enough that they can get that slant pass in. Inside Smith. Well thrown by Walsh. Nice catch, Graham. First down, Bears.
Jeff Graham, acquired for a number 5 draft pick from the Steelers. Hook the motion man. Walsh, a quickie wide open. And batted at the line of scrimmage. Chris Gedney, the other tight end, the intended receiver.
Well, was he wide open?
We get a report that the Bears will be short a wide receiver, and their clutch 3rd down man, Tom Waddle, a hamstring injury, out for the rest of the game.
You know, Dick, yesterday at practice, we saw the back of Tom Waddle's leg wrapped. It was down by the knee. Wonder if that was the start of the hamstring pull. He didn't do anything in practice. There he is. Is it his left or right leg? It's his right leg. Maybe that was the start of the hamstring pull yesterday.
The same play, and Gedney has the catch for short yardage. That was the same play they called on first down when the ball was tipped. Maddox on the coverage along with Cornelius Bennett.
This young man is never going to look like the perfect quarterback. You know, he doesn't set up like the classic quarterbacks do. He doesn't have the arm strength that classic quarterbacks do. But consider when he was in college at the University of Miami as a starter, he was 23-1. That one loss to Notre Dame in South Bend. The coaching staff of the Bears know this kid knows how to win.
6 completions, 6 different receivers here in the first half. Tillman, good blocking, and he's inside the 15. 3 consecutive first downs, and the Bears with the first serious march of this game.
Dick, what a block by Merrill Hodge, the fullback. Should be coming right at you. Watch 33. You wonder why yards are gained on this play. Watch him put his head down. He goes right through the defensive back, Thomas Smith, and gives Tillman about 5 or 6 more yards.
11 yards on the carry, first down at the 14. Bears who were stopped on downs at the Buffalo 1-yard line threaten that 3-0 Bills lead. Tillman wrapped up by number 53, Marcus Patton, at the line of scrimmage.
When Walsh was down in New Orleans, they signed Jim Everett. He did not want to sit there and be the 3rd-string quarterback. And he liked these guys here in Chicago because Tony Wise, the offensive line coach of the Chicago Bears, was with Jimmy Johnson down in Miami. Follow me now. Dave Wannstedt was the defensive coordinator. There's Tony Wise. He recruited Walsh to go to Miami, one of the best recruits they ever had at Miami.
Right up to St. Paul, Minnesota. 2nd and 9. Walsh trips. To the end zone by Chris Gedney for a touchdown. Oh, my. Gedney's 3rd touchdown catch of the season. A one-hander at the back line of the end zone.
That is a highlight film right there. Broke his collarbone in 1993. The Buffalo Bills defense still lobbying with the officials at the end of the end zone. Gedney's already on the sideline, but look at the discussion going on here with the referee and the rest of his crew. Ball, one arm. Oh, that's beautiful. Does he have it? Yes. I think they should give it to him. The field judge signals he caught the ball. He's asking for another official where his feet inbounds. The field judge goes, he caught the ball.
And the knee down before he rolled out of the field of play. So a 59-yard drive, and the Bears have the lead as Butler. Hesitation off the snap, and flags fly.
Dick, that was a very good illustration of the way the officials work together there in the end zone. That field judge, offsides defense. The catch is a thing of beauty. Looks like he's held here by the linebacker. At least there's contact. But watch after he catches the ball one-handed. The field judge says, look, he caught the ball. Can somebody help me whether he was inbounds? He's just saying he caught it. Now somebody help me. That's the way it's done in the NFL. Good job officiating crew.
Encroachment by the defense, number 78. The penalty is declined. Free kick.
Gedney played at Syracuse and was a third-round pick by the Bears a year ago. And now Butler, after they decline the encroachment penalty, to try the point after. The all-time Chicago Bears score. And Butler makes it 7-3 with 8 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in this first half. The hometown Bears trying to go 3-2.
Let's play Coca-Cola Monsters of the Gridiron. The challenger, Chris Weiss. His opponent, Emmett Lone Star Sheriff Smith of the Dallas Cowboys. Chris goes left.
I wouldn't go that way.
The kid fakes right.
You're mine.
He goes up the middle. Touchdown!
Me, Burbank Kid.
Bring home specially marked Coca-Cola products. Collect Monster trading cards and play Monsters of the Gridiron. You could win Super Bowl tickets or one of 8 million prizes.
You're next.
Introducing Ford Contour. Gold, a world car for the 21st century. Example, the advanced Quadrolink rear suspension. It was designed to allow rear wheels to adjust in sync with the front, giving Contour precise control in cornering and braking. Then it was put through 2 million miles of rigorous testing just to make sure. The totally new Ford Contour, a world car for the 21st century.
Well, I sure would love a bacon double cheeseburger. What do you say? You want one?
I say you're crazy. We'll lose our spot in line.
We're the only ones in line. Come on. It's just going to take a minute. What could happen?
Hurry to McDonald's, and for a limited time, get the Bacon Double Cheeseburger. It's a bacon lover's dream with twice the meat and that smoky bacon flavor. With large fries and a medium Coke, it's just $2.99.
Hey, is that someone in your seat, Bacon Boy?
What you want is what you get at McDonald's.
Mr. Gullible Guy.
NFL on NBC is brought to you by the totally new Ford Contour, a world car for the 21st century. By Coca-Cola Classic, the official soft drink of the NFL. Always a scream, always Coca-Cola. By Compaq, look for the new Presario computers for that small business you call home. And by Heineken, just being the best is enough.
City of Broad Shoulders basking in beautiful autumn weather. Temperature right around 60 degrees, breeze off Lake Michigan. Oh, this is the kind of day that even if you never played football, you feel like you should. Just a bite in the air.
There are actually people out on Lake Michigan sailing. It's a little chilly to be sailing today. Look at that.
It's so clear you can almost see across to the Wolverine State. Arducky to kick it off. 7-3, the Bears lead it. Kicking from the 35 because of the 5-yard penalty on the extra point. 59-yard drive and 7 plays engineered by young Steve Walsh. Russell Copeland and Yonel Jourdain are deep for Buffalo. Short spinner. Copeland at the 15. And tripped up at the 25-yard line. A reminder, after the excitement of the NFL, stay tuned. NBC tonight. Meet the real Ghostbusters, an incredible true story on Unsolved Mysteries tonight at 7 Eastern, 6 Central, right here on NBC. Now Jim Kelly and the Bills offense endeavoring to get in a proper high gear. Only 26 yards passing and an intercept. And not much better on the ground is Kelly. Lots of time to Davis. A gain of 5, covered well by John Mangum.
Bears defense playing very smart here. Total zone coverage, making sure these guys catch the ball underneath the defensive backs and then make the big hit. Very conservative approach, but to this point, a successful approach.
Wannstedt, who developed the Jimmy Johnson defense with the Cowboys, that took them to the Super Bowl and earned the right to be the head coach here in Chicago, trying to use that same system with the Bears. Speed, a lot of zone. Don't take too many risks, although there, Sean Gale appeared to be on his way on a safety blitz, denied by Kelly. Davis around the corner. And Kenneth Davis with a first down at the 41-yard line. Gale tripped him up.
Excuse me, Dick. Vincent Smith just came off the field. Looked like he sprained his ankle or something. They're already short a linebacker. Little sweep run away from the blitz. See if we can see what happens to Vincent Smith. Can't really pick it up. But he went straight to the bench. Nice first down pickup, Buffalo Bills.
Ron Cox replaces Smith. They have only 4 linebackers suited up today, the Bears. Davis, hesitation, and all is lost. May at the end-of-half-yard. Joe Kane grounds him as you're looking at the former Cowboy Vincent Smith and some pain on the sideline. And another Bear slow getting up. Looks to be Joe Kane. Boy, only 4 linebackers to start. 1 just injured, and another is down for Chicago.
Whose research developed a new technology to make cough medicine more effective? Whose research helped to create a better flu vaccine? Whose research is breaking ground towards finding a cure for the common cold? The same people you've depended on to relieve your sneezes, sniffles, sore throats, and coughs. From research to relief. Vicks.
It was forged from a spirit of strength, from a commitment to protection, and the unrelenting will to give you peace of mind. From the moment it goes on your door. It is Titan from Kwikset. Titan door locks, unbeatable strength, unbeatable security.
Sunday. It's the day the world takes a breather or gets a chance to catch up. It's our Sunday best and long Sunday drives. There's one truck designed for a day like today, Ford F-Series. With the safety of a standard airbag and rear anti-lock brakes, a spacious interior, and the kind of toughness that never takes a day off. More reasons why Ford F-Series is the best-selling truck 17 years running, and that's a lot of Sundays.
Next Sunday, a blockbuster doubleheader. First, Dan Marino and the Dolphins take on Jim Kelly and the Bills. Then, Joe Montana and the Chiefs face Junior Seau and the Chargers. Or Jeff Hostetler and the Raiders battle Drew Bledsoe and the Patriots. Or regional action.
The NFL on NBC. Nothing's more American.
Next Sunday.
Welcome back to Soldier Field. That's Jim Flanagan. He was the player last injured. Apparently okay, back on the sideline. Meanwhile, Vincent Smith is on his way to the Bears locker room. As soon as we get a report, Hannah will give us that information. 2nd and 10 Bills, trailing 7-3. Less than 7 minutes to go in this first half as Kelly screen to Davis. The Bears unable to bring him down on the initial catch as Magnum missed him, and Davis with some good hard running out across the 45.
Bears played that beautifully, though. Magnum right there, sitting on the screen.
Davis, 4 catches, as you see today. He's not regarded as the receiver talent that Thurman Thomas has, but some would say that he can run right with Thurman. Maybe a little bit faster. 3rd down and Kelly. To Russell Copeland. It's a catch and a first down at the 46 of the Bears.
Oh, and Mark Carrier made a swipe at that ball. Kelly got that right through the hands of Mark Carrier into the receiver for a completion. Carrier is right there. I mean, all these Buffalo receivers covered closely by Bear defenders.
Only the second catch this year for Russell Copeland from Memphis State. At the 46 of Chicago, Davis, former TCU star, through the tackle of Carrier, picks up about 5. Let's go to Hannah Storm for this report.
Vincent Smith has been taken into the locker room. They're going to x-ray his right ankle to see what the extent of the damage is there, Dick. Also, Merrill Hodge is in the locker room as well. He has a lacerated chin, and they're going to check him for a concussion. Dick?
All right, thank you, Hannah. Vincent Smith, the key to that defense of the Bears, who are playing without Dante Jones, their middle linebacker, who has a groin injury. Their top tackler. Second down, a long 5 for Kelly. He's going deep for Andre Reed, who tried the one-handed catch as he and Donnell Wolford battled elbow to elbow down the sideline.
That's a good way to put it. Battled elbow to elbow. There was definitely contact. Reed gets a step on it, but they've each got a hold of each other.
Fighting for the last seat on the L, weren't they? I mean.
Yes.
So third down and 5. As you see the other scores in the finals, Indianapolis a winner. Marshall Faulk, a couple of touchdowns, the brilliant rookie for the Colts. And here we're happy both Detroit and Green Bay losers. Kelly, as receiver, had fallen. Russell Copeland. And so the punting team on for Buffalo.
A rare blitz by the Chicago Bears on a third down and medium yards. You're going to see him come right up the middle. Kelly has the receiver out there, but because the receiver slipped, couldn't make the completion. 59 Kane and also Maurice Douglas, the safety blitzed.
Jeff Graham deep for Chicago as Moore sends it up. Look at that Tasker, how quickly he gets downfield. He was already at the 2-yard line. The ball, however, bounces out of bounds at the 10 with a timeout.
Introducing Ford Contour. Gold, a world car for the 21st century. Example, world-class technology in 2 entirely new engines. The 16-valve Z-Tech that can deliver up to 35 miles per gallon highway and 125 horsepower. Plus, the 24-valve V6 Duratec that travels 100,000 miles between recommended tune-ups. The totally new Ford Contour, a world car for the 21st century.
It's up to you. All you have to do is brush your teeth. No brush, no story.
With fax, voicemail, speakerphone, and an integrated CD-ROM system.
Daddy, let's do this book tonight.
The compact Presario will let you do things that may have seemed impossible before.
She brush?
It's the way we make you feel that makes people fly British Airways. The world's favorite airline.
If you missed today's NFL Live, you missed our quarterly report card with Joe Gibbs' surprise team of the year.
I'd say the Chargers. A lot of people had them picked towards the bottom of the AFC West, including me. They've done extremely well.
And Mike Ditka's biggest free agent boss, Sean Salisbury.
He doesn't have any quarterback rating. He's now with Minnesota again. I would say that's a pretty bad pick.
Next Sunday, 12:30 Eastern.
The Bears, and a brilliant touchdown catch by tight end Chris Gedney, lead 7-3 as time winds down toward the intermission, and Chicago with the ball at the 10-yard line. Bruce Smith, the all-pro defensive end, digs in as the Bills looking for a stop and perhaps another chance before the half. Walsh, play action, is complete to the rookie from Ohio State, Raymond Harris, the 4th-round pick of the Bears. His 4th catch of the season, Mickey Washington on the coverage.
From behind the offense, look at the double team over on the left, the tight end and the tackle. They are not going to turn Bruce Smith loose on Steve Walsh. There's 78. He's fighting Andy Heck. And also Chris Gedney, just anything they can do to slow him down.
Yeah, in this series, we're just going to watch how much attention Bruce Smith earns from the Bears blockers. It's only a gain of 3. A catch by Harris. Straight ahead goes Harris. Good second effort, and then he squirts out at the 20-yard line. They had the first down. They had him stopped at the 16, and Harris driving forward. That's only his 3rd carry of the season. Dave Wannstedt told us he'd like to see this rookie get more of a chance to play. He's very high on him.
Good, tough running back at Ohio State filled the same role. He always got the tough yards. And there, Raymond Harris did it. Of course, you want your receivers to block. This is Conway. Well, kind of a takedown and then an over-the-shoulder throw.
Harris got the first down yardage. 2 tight ends, Gedney and bookend the line. Harris again. Okay. Nearly 5 more up the middle. Clock ticking at 3:40.
Well, if they can find anybody to push the pile, here's Bruce Smith again on Andy Heck. Heck's in-laws are from this area. When he came back to Chicago, he thought he died and gone to heaven, and Bruce Smith is down on the field. There he's up. He is up. Bruce, by the way, still playing at around 265 pounds. The weight he's been for the last 7 or 8 years. Is big on the Stairmaster for conditioning 3 or 4 days a week.
About 120 pounds heavier than his buddy Sweet Pea Whitaker, who had a successful night last night at Norfolk. He won that big welterweight title bout. Walsh into the flat to Marvin Cook, and another first down at the 36-yard line. Clock stopped. 2:56 left in the half.
Dick, again, not fancy, but he gets the job done. Good vision of the field. He's looking downfield first. He knows where that outlet receiver is. This is this West Coast offense. And the other side, there's Andy Heck. Has he got him by himself? No. Court seat, 62 comes out and helps. Bruce Smith is not going to have a single guy in his face for this entire game.
11-yard play. Jones, the tackler. First down at the 36. Throws that one away. He did have Raymond Harris in that flat, and Cornelius Bennett was wheeling around the corner, nipping at the heels of the Bears quarterback.
Even though he's a linebacker, he is the pass rush specialist. He's getting by Williams, James Williams. This is his first year as a starter, 71. Biscuit has still got the speed to get around the corner. Del Talley and Bruce Smith also there. Walsh throws it away, again making a good decision.
Cornelius Bennett, what a player. 6-time Pro Bowler on one corner, and Bruce Smith charging from the other side, the 5-time Pro Bowler. Oops, Smith charging prematurely. Free play for Walsh. And Cook unable to juggle it home as Darryl Talley out there on the coverage for Buffalo. But it would appear that Smith guilty of a 5. Derek Kramer's the 3rd-string quarterback today. Kramer.
Offsides by the defense, number 78. 5-yard penalty, repeat, second down.
Among the elite in rushing the passer, Reggie White, since they started keeping the sack statistic, is the leader, but Bruce Smith moving up persistently on that list. Lionel Taylor, now retired. Richard Dent closing out his career. Ricky Jackson the same, but Bruce Smith, who is still a young man at 31. Lawrence Taylor, the great giant in the number 2 spot. But we're not talking about those great pass rushers of yesteryear. They didn't keep the stat. Deacon Jones and those sorts of plays. Out to the 44-yard line goes Tillman. And that'll bring up 3rd down and about 3 as we approach the 2-minute timeout. Bears in the lead, 7-3.
Working to be the best. Teammates. Sponsored by the U.S. Army.
Way to work, Bart. Way to work.
No doubt the Dolphins' offense works better with Dan Marino in the lineup.
Deep up the middle, man down there, Jackson, touchdown!
A healthy Marino, along with talented tight end Keith Jackson, make Miami a team to watch in the AFC East. Marino and Jackson, helping make Miami the best they can be.
If you want to move ahead in any career, you have to know what most employers want. Like how to work with a team, how to handle responsibility, how to take on a tough job and see it through. You can learn all these things in the Army, so when you do set off on the road to success, you'll already be in the driver's seat.
Have you ever seen anything more amazing than Little Caesar's Italian sausage pizzas?
No. Italian sausage pizza, the newest Little Caesar's Pleaser, 2 for $9.98.
Pizza.
Or 1 for $5.99.
When you're driving in the rain, it can feel like you're riding on marbles. But Goodyear AquaTread's Deep Groove Aqua Channel moves over a gallon of water away per second for outstanding wet traction. The all-season AquaTread, only from Goodyear.
Tuesday, it's a special full hour of Wings.
Hello.
And it's all new. When Alex is gone, Bryant's looking for love anywhere he can find it.
Get off of me, you psycho.
And it's the outrageous all-new Frasier you'll be talking about the morning after.
You're cute when you're nervous.
Well, I must be downright adorable now.
Followed by an all-new Larry Kick. Great comedy, NBC Tuesday.
Yeah, it's great to be in Chicago, and when this weather turns this way, I don't even need a calendar to know that it's football weather. You guys that used to play start to quiver. I mean, it's like you're ready for the kickoff.
We like it. The only bad thing about this time of year is there are a lot of leaves to rake back here in the Midwest. A lot of leaves, Dick, but you're right. This is perfect football weather. Those people on the shady side of Soldier Field are a little uncomfortable, and those people on the sunny side of Soldier Field are in their shirt sleeves.
And things are perfect for the Bears. Just picking away short yardage stuff against this Bills defense. They have the lead 7-3. Walsh thought about running it and now eats it at the 38-yard line. So the Bills may use one of their timeouts, and racing in with Mark Pike to do just that as Bruce Smith makes the tackle. That's his second sack today. Look where he is, right on the nose.
He plays everywhere on that defensive line, sometimes just where he wants to. But Hansen makes him spin. Biscuit out there, Cornelius Bennett, and then Bruce Smith will get the sack. Or maybe it'll be...
Bill Hansen, I believe, is the man who got there. Well, Hansen slowed him up, and Smith, that's a garbage sack.
But again, Steve Walsh making the right choice. He's not going to take a chance here. Make sure he just held on to the football.
Jeff Burris, with fourth down coming up, will drift back into punt formation. He has been a critical part of this first half for Buffalo. A reminder coming up, the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report with Greg Gumbel and Iron Mike Ditka. They'll bring you up to date all the scores, the highlights from around the NFL. That's halftime, Domino's halftime report. Oh, Buffalo with 2 timeouts left will have considerable time for Kelly to try to make a dent in the 7-3 Chicago lead. Gardocki will deliver from around his 34-yard line. Burris back at the 20 of Buffalo. Dying spiral that's spinning toward the sideline. Takes a big Buffalo bounce, and Ron Cox grounds it at the 43-yard line. Only an 18-yard punt for Gardocki. Bills take the field, and we remind you it's a doubleheader Sunday next week on NBC. Most of you in the first round will see a great matchup. Dan Marino, high-scoring Miami, Jim Kelly and these Buffalo Bills, and some of you will see the Jets as they try to stop that great rookie Marshall Faulk of the Colts. And in game 2 of our doubleheader, most of you will see a battle of supremacy, AFC West, San Diego and Kansas City. Wide open Andre Reed, who ducks out of bounds with a first down at the Bears' 46-yard line. John Mangum on the coverage.
Dick, Buffalo may have figured something out here. They've noticed that when Andre Reed's outside, Wolford's the man in coverage. If they move him inside, he can run his patterns on Mangum. That time, Andre Reed was in the slot. This time, he's out again. Wolford's got him.
That's
bottom of the screen.
Yep, that's one-on-one. Wolford, the best cover man for the Bears against the top receiver, Reed. Underneath, it's Beebe. And he's wrestled down at the 43. He had momentum at the 40. They're going to allow him to the 41. Jeremy Lincoln, the right corner from Tennessee, with the tackle. Clock running at 1:23. Telling him that hurry-up offense. This is where Buffalo, because that's how they play it, it's just very natural for him to go on the quick pull. Kelly eludes the rush. And now we'll run it to the sidelines and get out of bounds. Those 34-year-old legs had enough in them to outrun the Bears, and it's a first down at the 33. Zorich ran him out.
Stride is shortening a little bit, I think, is the best way to say it here for Jim Kelly. He used to be a pretty agile and fleet-footed quarterback, but as you get a little older, those legs just don't stretch out like they used to.
Albert Fontenot, 96, was the man so close to the Chicago sack. Moving into field goal range, the Bills. Oh, great play. And Joe Kane, who played at Oregon Tech after transferring, he was a freshman at Stanford University, makes the play, and the Bills spend a second timeout with 1:02 left in the half.
Joe Kane plays this beautifully. You see him right there on the left hand. You can read Ken Hull, the center, knows it's a screen, there to make the tackle. I don't think Buffalo will run that play again.
No gain for the Bills. Interestingly, Kane and Nate Lewis, the wide receiver, two men from Oregon Tech in Klamath Falls, Oregon, playing on the same National Football League team.
Why are you surprised?
Well, yeah, I kind of like the idea that we're able now and then to talk about the smaller college programs, and I know people who attend those schools or our alums really cheer hard for the little school guy that makes it big in the NFL. And they've got two here with the Bears, Lewis and Kane.
It is rather odd that they both end up on the same football team.
They had another up there, was quite a play at Oregon Tech with the Owls, Abel, and they tried to get Kane and Abel, but that didn't materialize. So Lewis stepped in. All right, the Bills at the 34.
I thought Abel was hurt. At least hurt. Yeah, he was injured.
Kelly dumps it off. Incomplete to Davis. Probably wasn't going to be much there anyway. Keene was right on the shoulder of Kenneth Davis. 57 seconds left. And his third down and 10 for Buffalo.
But he did take his eye off the football.
Thurman Thomas, who feels he will be able to play the next home game. In fact, the Bills are not going to have to play on the road till November. They go home to Rich Stadium against the Dolphins next Sunday. And he says he'll be ready. Knee injury. Davis filling in at the 34. 3rd and 10. Kelly down the middle, complete. Bill Brooks at the 20, first down, Buffalo.
Beautifully done. Brooks on the inside in the slot. Carrier makes the tackle. They go right back to the line of scrimmage quickly, Dick.
30 seconds left, and Kelly downs the ball with 38 showing on the clock.
That's the one thing about this Buffalo offense. The core of this offense, the receivers, Kelly, the offensive line, Jim Schaffner, the quarterback coach, Frank Reich on the sideline. They've dealt with this offense for so many years, seen so many different defenses, they can make the adjustments necessary to get it to function.
B.B. Wright, slotted right is Reed, and Brooks to the left. Kelly goes back to the right to Beebe. And the speedy little receiver from Chadron State also played a year at Western Illinois, out of bounds just shy of the 10. Stops the clock, 32 seconds.
Watch on the left. It looks like Trace Armstrong stops. C93 stops. He thought it was a screen. And Kelly finds Don Beebe out in the flat. Not enough for a first down, but very close.
3rd and 1. Bears 7-3 lead threatened here in the final seconds of the half. All three receivers to the left. Mitzelar's the tight end right. Davis. Oh, what an open field tackle by Donnell Wolford. He has played an all-pro first half. Wolford. Bills spend their final timeout.
And it looks like they're sending the kicker on the field. That was a great open field tackle by Donnell Wolford.
Davis saw a chance not for just the first down on 3rd and 1, but there was only Wolford in his way for a possible touchdown.
Wolford stays home. He does not over-pursue. Get back in there in the middle of everything. That is a great tackle.
So Buffalo only points of this half, a 28-yard field goal by Steve Christie. That was set up on the Jeff Burris punt return of 57 yards. And now it's Christie again, Mr. Perfect on the season. He's not missed a field goal nor an extra point. 10 for 10 field goals and 8 straight extra points. And this one a relatively short shot, but you never know at Soldier Field. It's about as tough to read the winds here off the lake as any park in the league. This will be 30 yards. Frank Wright to hold. It's good. That little short leg punch of Steve Christie, who learned his field goal kicking up at Oakville, Ontario, where his heroes were both football and hockey players, and he himself was a Canadian junior soccer player on their junior team. So quite an all-around athlete. Christie, who was a find from Tampa Bay.
One of the best Plan B free agents, I think, that was available in the league. Good, strong leg, and also an accurate leg. Well, this is not a half that the Buffalo offense, I think, wants to really sit down and look at and analyze for anything positive.
Well, the Bears aren't exactly going to open champagne at the half either.
They're not. But Buffalo's offense has been better than Chicago's offense in the initial stages of this season.
Bills got 45 yards on that drive. Prior to that possession, they had only 88 total yards. Nate Lewis, with 21 seconds left in this first half, is the deep man for the Bears. It'd be surprising if Christie kicks to him. Logic here says they'll just try to dribble one down low and try to prevent the long kickoff return. Tim Worley and the Steeler and Raymond Harris are these upbacks. And skid that one down to one of the big linemen. It's Jim Flanagan, who played a little linebacker at Notre Dame. Look at this. High school fullback. He has designs on something big. He took some time down to 11 seconds as Flanagan to the 41-yard line. And you know all of his defensive teammates love that. Zorich was the first out there to give him a big punch.
Dickey even switched arms. Watch what happens here. You better get away from trouble. Puts it in his left arm, just like that high school days. Hey, man, this guy, short yardage fullback.
He was the Wisconsin High School Player of the Year. His daddy played linebacker with the Green Bay Packers. 12-yard return.
They loved every second of it.
Fans don't like the fact that Walsh doesn't go for a desperation shot here in the final seconds, but he kneels it down, and that is the end of the first half. Defense prevails, and the Chicago Bears with a 7-6 lead as we go to Greg Gumbel in New York for the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report.
This is the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report, brought to you by Domino's Pizza. When it's got to be good and it's got to be now, it's got to be Domino's.
And welcome back to our studio in New York. Along with Mike Ditka and Joe Gibbs, I'm Greg Gumbel. Our halftime score, as you saw, the Bears leading it by 1 by a 7-6 score over the Buffalo Bills. Let's show you the highlights from Soldier Field in Chicago, where Marv Levy's Bills went in winners of 3 in a row, but playing without Thurman Thomas today. Jeff Burris returned a Chicago punt 57 yards to the Bears' 16-yard line in the first quarter, and this set up a 38-yard Steve Christie field goal, and Buffalo led 3-0. But in the second period, Steve Walsh, starting for the second straight week in place of injured Eric Kramer, slips, then finds tight end Chris Gedney. What a catch by Gedney. In the end zone, one-handed. A Christie field goal narrowed the gap. It is now a 7-6 Bears lead at halftime. Mike Ditka, are these Bears surprising you today?
No, I really thought they were going to win the game, and I'll tell you what now, Buffalo's in trouble because they're playing right into the Bears' hands. They're playing into a low-scoring game, and the Bears play pretty darn good defense without Thomas in the game to threaten them more with a run I think the Bills are going to have a lot of problems. The Bears are starting to play back to what Dave had talked about earlier. They're doing the things they want to. They're not a great offense, and they don't profess to be a great offense, but they're going to be opportunistic. If they don't get hurt in special teams, they'll make enough plays offensively to win this game today.
All right, Mike, Jim Kelly, 13 of 22, 83 yards and an interception in the first half for Buffalo. In New Orleans, the Giants are trailing the New Orleans Saints by a score of 17-13. At halftime, James Williams returned an interception 33 yards for a touchdown to put the Saints on top just before the break. In San Francisco, look at this score. The Eagles leading the 49ers. 30-8 is the score there. Does this surprise you, Mr. Gibbs?
It surprises me. If you'd have told me routes, Cleveland over the Jets, Dallas over the Redskins, yes. No, not Philly over the 49ers at 38 at halftime. I'll tell you, when you get Cunningham running around, though, and they play good defense, hey, bad things can happen to you when you play Philly.
Herschel Walker has run for 1 touchdown, Charlie Garner for 2, and Randall Cunningham has thrown 28 yards to Victor Bailey for another TD. In Tempe, Arizona, the Cardinals and the Vikings are tied at 7 in the second quarter. Schrader has thrown a touchdown pass to Derek Ware. Warren Moon has thrown a 13-yarder to Jake Reed. And in Anaheim, kind of a football game is this. The Rams are leading the Atlanta Falcons by a safety, 2-0. We'll bring you all the scores and highlights from the early games right after these words from your local station.
It's a cloud of insanity.
It's inside my head!
Trying to stop it only gives it life.
It's the face of God.
All new Sequest. Then, a mother-to-be is murdered. The father-to-be did it.
He's an animal. I'm gonna nail him.
Based on the actual police case that brought the murderer to justice.
Yeah, he's the one.
Brian Dennehy and Rock's Charles Dutton.
You tell him I'm coming after him.
All new Jack Reed, A Search for Justice, following an all-new Sequest beginning at 8/7 Central, NBC tonight.
Why would anyone brew an iced beer and then deliver it in a warm truck? At Coors, we believe if you're going to take the time and expense to create an original iced beer, like we do Coors Arctic Ice, why wouldn't you lock in the flavor by always shipping it cold? This is Coors Arctic Ice, a full-flavored beer with an icy clean finish. The only ice beer that is brewed cold and shipped cold. Think about that.
Okay,
this is our new house, Pumpkin, where you're going to be born. This is the living room.
Which looks a lot like the dining room.
And we're going to have a couch and tables and a TV. And this is your room, Connor, with the crib here, the dresser, and lots of shit.
I thought we agreed on Elliot.
You and your mother agreed on Elliot. You want Connor, don't you, Pumpkin?
No.
Marty Aarons and Lori Lasowski at 6 and 11 on Channel 2 News. This is the Domino's Pizza NFL Live Halftime Report, brought to you by Domino's Pizza. When it's gotta be good and it's gotta be now, it's gotta be Domino's.
Welcome back. Let's get you caught up on all the action from the early games today, beginning in Cleveland, where the Jets continue to slump and the Browns are looking good. The mini crisis with the Jets is now a major one, and injured Boomer Esiason couldn't bear to watch. The Browns continue to make big plays. Eric Metcalf to the outside, down the sideline, 37 yards for a touchdown. The Browns led 24-0 at halftime. Jets defensive coordinator Greg Robinson was not pleased. His troops lose it 27-7. In Foxborough, Vincent Brisby caught 2 touchdown passes in the second half to bring the Patriots back against the Packers. They led 14-10. Less than 3 minutes to go, Brett Favre engineered a 73-yard drive. Reggie Cobb scored, but they botched the extra point, and it proved costly. In the final seconds, Matt Barr nails it from 33 yards out. The Patriots win it by a score of 17-16. The Seattle Seahawks in Indianapolis to play the Colts. Defensive tackle Steve Entman of Indy on the comeback trail from reconstructive knee surgery. Marshall Faulk had 2 touchdowns on the day, giving him 6 for the season, all rushing. This one gave the Colts a 10-8 lead. It was an unhappy homecoming for Hoosier native Rick Meyer, sacked 5 times in the Colts' 17-15 victory. The Detroit Lions travel to Tampa Bay, and a little bit of history today. Vernon Turner of the Bucks takes Greg Montgomery's punt, and he goes 80 yards down the right sideline for the touchdown. The first punt return for a touchdown in the 18-year history of the Bucks that covered 1,320 punts. And what a day for the NFL rushing leader Barry Sanders. 166 yards, including this one for 85, the longest run of his career despite losing a shoe. It set up Derek Moore's touchdown that cut the Bucks' lead to 17-14. Greg Montgomery's punt is blocked here and recovered by Jeff Brady at the 3. It led to Eric Rett's 1-yard TD run. The Bucks extended their lead to 24-14. That was the final. Both teams' records now 2-3. And Dallas in Washington. Heath Shuler making his first pro start under big pressure all day. He was minus 4 yards passing in the first half. Emmitt Smith scored 2 touchdowns in this rout, including the 4-yarder in the first quarter, but left the game in the second with a hamstring strain. Jim Gray talked with Smith.
How are you feeling? Are you okay? And will you play next week?
Feel fine. I think I'm okay. As far as next week goes, I don't know.
We'll wait to find out. Meanwhile, the Cowboys roll over the Redskins by a score of 34-7. Mike, not a great day for a young quarterback, Heath Shuler.
Well, it wasn't a great day for any of the Washington Redskins. I think the one thing about Heath Shuler, he's going to be a good fullback or a good quarterback in time, but he's got to have support. He had no blocking at all. Now, the stats don't show it. He didn't complete a lot of passes, but he was either harassed, he had passes knocked down, or he was knocked down, and also he was sacked a number of times. So the guy's got to get some help. I don't care who you put back there. With the kind of a supporting cast he had today, they couldn't win that game by any means at all.
Okay, Joe, you see something that should be awfully familiar today.
Well, Jimmy Johnson comes in a while back with the Cowboys, starts a complete rebuilding program. Norv Turner comes from the Dallas Cowboys, comes to the Redskins, starts a complete rebuilding program. And they've switched roles here. The question is, can Norv be that successful down the road? He's starting from scratch. It's going to take a while, particularly with a young quarterback.
All right, gentlemen, one additional story on the Redskins. Their owner, Jack Kent Cooke, has announced plans to move the team out of RFK and into a new stadium in Laurel, Maryland, which is located between Washington, D.C. and Baltimore. Earlier today, Jim Gray spoke with Cooke about that.
The possibility exists, a very strong possibility now, that Mayor Barry will be back in office. He has reportedly put a call into you and asked you to please reconsider Washington. Will you reconsider Washington?
Yes, you're quite right. He did put a call into me, and I said, no, I'm terribly sorry, Marion, but I do congratulate you on becoming mayor. And we talked for a little bit about cabbages and kings and other things, and concluded the conversation.
So there'll be absolutely no reconsideration?
There's no reconsideration whatever. And I'm so pleased and proud that the Board of Governors of the National Football League approved almost wholesale our application to move to Laurel.
They also said, the commissioner said, that this would not preclude a team from moving into Baltimore. Are you opposed, and will you oppose a team moving to Baltimore?
I have no view on that whatever. What's the next question?
No view at all?
I said no view whatever.
Well, Mr. Angelos has said that you are preventing him from trying to move a team in there, and that you would probably seek some litigation if he attempted.
I have no view on that either. I don't know Mr. Angelo. I met him once. And he has his own problems up there in Baltimore.
7 minutes ago.
After the interview off camera, Cooke told Jim Gray he would oppose a move to Baltimore, but he didn't want to deal with anything hypothetically. Said Cooke, and I quote, "I might not be alive if a team moves to Baltimore, and if I'm dead, I don't care." We'll send it back to Soldier Field for the second half right after these words from their local station.
Monday, it's a Fresh Prince double date. Will gets Valerie, and Carlton gets her too. May the best man win on an all-new Fresh Prince NBC Monday. Tuesday, it's a special full hour of Wings.
Hello?
And it's all new. When Alex is gone, Bryant's looking for love anywhere he can find it.
Get off of me, you psycho!
And it's the outrageous all-new Frasier you'll be talking about the morning after.
You're cute when you're nervous. But I must be downright adorable now.
Followed by an all-new Larroquette, great comedy, NBC Tuesday.
For what you put into your relationship with your bank, are you getting enough out of it? At KeyBank, our Key Preference Plan gives you a premium rate CD, plus preferred pricing on financial services. Get more out of your life. Get more out of your bank. At KeyBank, America's neighborhood bank.
After you watch the game, call Sports Extra online with your Bills questions and comments.
I'm Thurman Thomas of the Buffalo Bills. And in life, as in football, any one of us can find ourselves third and long with the odds against us. In 1974, a boy named Robert Quintana faced a life or death situation.
My father threatened to kill me and my brothers and sisters in a violent rage. My mother gathered the children and ran out of the house to drive the family away to safety. I prayed for my life. When I was 16, I dropped out of school, but a United Way agency counselor put me in some classes and got me into college. Today, I am able to give back to my community through the United Way. I am a hero for my children and a hero to the kids in Buffalo. United Way has helped me to become what I am today. Every day you see someone who really needs the United Way. I know because I was that someone.
The United Way, reaching those who need help, touching us all.
This message furnished by the National Football League.
And we welcome you back to Chicago in the second half. A score at the intermission that would, we think would be late November or December, and the Coors Light halftime statistics would bear out. You'd think we were playing in 3 feet of snow with those numbers. 133 total yards for the Bills and 112 for the Bears.
Yeah, I guess for the Bills, this is one of their worst offensive performances in the first half. They gave the ball up twice to the Chicago Bears, and Chicago was able to take advantage of both. But, I mean, this is not a first half that's going to go in the time capsule, Dick. Not pretty on either side of the ball.
Well, there was one pretty play. The only touchdown took a miraculous catch by Gedney up with a right-handed stab in the back line of the end zone to give the Bears their touchdown and the lead 7-6. It also has been a game that has featured critical injuries for the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, we're not sure how bad Merrill Hodges hurt, but he just left here to the hospital. I think they have his chin stitched up, among other things. Vincent Smith, the starting weak side outside linebacker, is hurt. Don't think he'll return. So you're right, it's been very, very expensive as to the health of these particular players.
Getting ready for that second half. Edmo back to the play. You never do that. And Steve Christie sends it high and short. Nate Lewis from the 17 to the 30 and to the 37. Another good return by Lewis. Let's go to Hannah Storm.
Well, just before the half, Dick, I talked to both sides of the Buffalo Bills on offense and defense, and quarterbacks coach Jim Schaffner and also Daryl Talley on defense told me the exact same thing. They said that there's absolutely nothing that they didn't expect, all the same coverages that they were expecting from the Chicago Bears. No surprises here. It's just a matter of the Bills not executing and being out of position. So they're looking to make the plays that they're supposed to in the second half, Dick.
All right, Hannah. Meanwhile, Steve Walsh and the Bears with the 1-point lead. Start at the 37. Walsh 9 for 14 in the first half, 68 yards, and that one touchdown catch by Gedney. He goes to the rookie, and he's showing great second effort burst. Raymond Harris, 225-pounder from Ohio State, where he finished as the number 5 Buckeye rusher in history. Look at the two quarterbacks in the first half. Neither man going to jump up and down with those numbers, and Kelly with the interception. Walsh just picking away the shortstop.
That's the important thing.
Garrett for the second effort, nearly 8 yards on that first down carry. Outside complete. Jeff Graham with a first down to the Buffalo 41-yard line. Cornelius Bennett trailing the play, made the tackle, 14 yards.
You can see Washington is way off in coverage zone, looking through the receiver back to the quarterback. Nice little move to get back inside and to pick up the first down yardage. Well, second half starting like the Bears are a different football team.
Conway to the left, Nate Lewis to the right, Harris the up back, and Tillman the tailback behind Walsh. Tillman runs the center of that line to the 38-yard line, and the herd of Buffaloes to make the tackle, led by Mark Maddox.
Nice lead block by Raymond Harris, the rookie. Most head coaches don't like to insert young running backs because they first have to learn how to block and pass protect. There you see the lead block, very well done. He's got a good shot on Patton in that. Allowed a gentleman a little rushing yardage there, not a lot.
Well, nearly 4, 2nd and 6. Merrill Hodge not playing. He took a blow on the chin. They had to stitch that up. Possible concussion and taken to the hospital. He was conscious as he left Soldier Field. Raymond Harris to the 35-yard line. Low center of gravity.
Yes.
First time we've seen this young man. And he's been tough to grab and haul down. Thus the good second effort. It'll be 3rd and 3.
And then, of course, this is the kind of offense that John Cooper and Ohio State ran so well throughout his career. Just hand it off, straight ahead, lead blocking, hang on to the football, push the pile.
Well, this is by far the most duty he's seen since the preseason. Prior to the game, had only 2 carries and 3 catches. And on 3rd and short, he's the man who stays in behind Walsh. Harris trying to get outside, and the second wave denies at the 34 of Buffalo. And no hesitation by Wanstead. He's going to go for the field goal. Cornelius Bennett spearheaded the defensive thrust of the Bills.
Except you never know about the Chicago Bear football team and their special teams. He's out there for a field goal, but last week, a couple of fakes on the special teams really helped the Bears.
Yeah, they were going to fake a 10-man team, but got out that extra blocker in time. James Williams. It's a 50-yard attempt if. In case if he misses, Buffalo will get it at the 40. It is gone! That is one of the longest, if not the longest, field goal of this young season. Coach is not daring to give the other team the ball out at the 40. Butler, a 50-yarder.
You know, Dave Wanstead told us that Butler drives him crazy. He's always telling him how far he can kick it. He's always telling him which way the wind is blowing. This is the side of the field I want it. Butler gets the chance.
This is one long game. They even ran out of food. The fans must be hungry.
I'll tell you about hungry.
When it's gotta be good and it's gotta be now. Pick up the phone, we're gonna knock you out.
Call for a large 2-topping crunchy thin crust pizza and get a medium 1-topping pizza free.
Did you see that?
Like a rock, I was strong as I could be. Like a rock, nothing ever got to me. Like a rock.
Chevy, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. In case you didn't know,
2 Bud Dries?
Bud Dry is dry brewed, using less water than light beers. And less water means more beer taste. Besides, who needs more water anyway?
Fifth week of the season, and that indeed was the longest successful field goal of the year as Butler from just outside 50 nails it through. It's the 15th time in his career with Chicago that he's kicked a 50-yard field goal or more. Kevin Butler.
He's the sanest and the most likable of the field goal kickers that I know. I mean, he would love to go out there and be a middle linebacker. Maybe just for one play.
He was Jim McMahon's buddy here in the whole year.
That's not an endorsement. That's
Copeland at the 3. 34-yard line, and Gardocki, the kicker, was able to wrestle him down.
The kickoff from the 3-yard line. He was tackled by Chris Gardocki.
Big lineup tonight on NBC. Unsolved Mysteries, Real Life Ghostbusters, and that's followed by Sequest. And then Motion picture, a premiere that's set in the city of Chicago. Brian Dennehy. Gee, anything he does is captivating. He can play the good guy or the bad guy. Jack Reed, A Search for Justice. Premiere movie tonight. All right here on NBC. Kenneth Davis. Big hole. Oh, and there he could go all the way. 50-40. And Sean Gale denied the touchdown at the 31-yard line.
Dick, there was a great block by a wide receiver that allowed Kenneth Davis to capture the corner. Just a pitch right. Actually, it's a handoff. See if we can pick up who the receiver is. Brooks has a big block. So does Don Beebe. 82, Don Beebe. And the corner was there.
35-yard run for Kenneth Davis. Not this time. Ron Cox from Fresno State. But a flag is down. Yeah, those wide, when you get a good run these days, your men downfield, your little ones, the wide receivers have to be doing a job.
There's two of them here. Brooks on 26, and then you see actually Carrier 20 bumps into the other corner, and that seals the corner for Davis to get around. And we just had a flag on Chicago, 18-yard face mask, so.
They did stop Davis, but used the mask, and it's the big penalty, 15 yards. By the way, the Davis run is the longest of the season for Buffalo.
There's Kane, right hand, right on the face mask, and he didn't let go. Excuse me, Ron Cox. He did not let go, and therefore it's the 15-yard variety.
So the Bills down 10-6. Have taken the kickoff after Butler's field goal, and now have a first down at the 17-yard line. Armstead, who is an offensive tackle and is playing days at the University of Pittsburgh, a motivator, high energy. Davis trying to squirt through, but no hole. Albert Fontenot and Chris Zorich with Sean Gale from the secondary.
Good job that time of just holding their ground. 96 Fontenot. And you also see linebackers there. There was just no place for him to run.
Game 2. Davis now with 78 yards rushing today. Flying for the injured Thurman Thomas. Kelly protected. Touchdown. Tight end Metzelaars. Oh, you always have your eye on them. So the 2 touchdowns by tight ends today. Gedney for the Bears, and now Metzelaars with his first touchdown of this new season.
And just his 9th catch. Nice move by Pete. He fakes the out, comes inside the defensive back, and Kelly puts it right where it has to be. That was a nice pattern and a well-executed play.
Buffalo's best drive of this game as Christie tries the point after. And the Bills have the lead, 13-10.
The new Chevy Blazer gives you this elegant interior, exceptional quiet, and 3 power ports to plug in electronic equipment.
This is Lynn. Leave a message at the tone and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Isn't it nice to know all that's there, even if you're not?
Hey, America, you like tailgate parties? We know you like cheese. So why not throw a real cheese tailgate party? Scratch off the game piece in this Sunday's paper. You could instantly win a new car or other prizes. Real cheese for a tasty tailgate party.
Still working with prehistoric copiers? Get the copier that earned Virus Lab's highest rating for uptime, Mita. For a more productive future, the times demand Mita.
I have a job, a family, a million things to do. Who has time to think about their car? That's why I take my car to Jiffy Lube for top quality products like Pennzoil. They're professional. They do a great job, and I like Pennzoil. Why would I go anywhere else?
Jiffy Lube, America's favorite oil change for busy people.
Remember to bring your car to Jiffy Lube every 3,000 miles.
The NFL on NBC.
Legacy is brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. By Intel. Look for the Intel Inside Pentium processor symbol to get the best performance for all your PC software. By Liberty Mutual. At Liberty Mutual, we're facing the issues that face our customers. And by Domino's Pizza. Call Domino's now. Buy a large 2-topping crunchy thin crust pizza and we'll give you a medium pizza free.
Welcome back to Chicago. Pete Metzelaars with a 15-yard touchdown reception from Jim Kelly. A quick 4-play drive, 66 yards, helped out by a 15-yard penalty. Another very short kick. Lewis on the run. 30, 40, flag down, and he's out of bounds across midfield. Nate Lewis, he's a weapon on kick returns, has been with the Chargers. But they're going to bring that one back. Let's go to the touchdown. Let me take this one, Bob. I know you love those tight ends. But he's an old basketball player at Ball State. And what he's going to do is when he gets in here, I'll clear it. What's the basketball fake? He comes out, hey, look over here. And that's a basketball play. And what a throw by Kelly. How's that?
Well
got
done.
A little crooked on that.
Well done, but don't touch my machinery ever again.
I beg your pardon, unless I love you, huh? Well, Metzelaars gives the Buffalo Bills a 13-10 lead. Big Redhead, who actually broke the record of Bill Walton in field goal percentage. You know, he shot 75% for a season in college.
He never was more than 8 feet away from the bucket.
No, but
Bill Walton
tell you
was
that.
a little farther away.
And after that penalty, the Bears, instead of being in Buffalo territory, start from about their 27. Walsh going long. And it's intercepted by Mickey Washington instead of for Graham. They did not down him. Oh, they are saying he's down by contact. It appeared that Washington was clear when he came down, but they're saying touched by Graham at the 38-yard line. Buffalo on the interception.
Well, in the first half, Walsh did an excellent job of going with the high percentage stuff. Underthrown. Washington there to make the tackle. Taps him on the helmet, and that's down by contact, so the Buffalo Bills will get it there. This is terribly underthrown. Watch the tap on the helmet when he hits the ground. Nevertheless, Buffalo ball.
9:50 left in the third quarter.
These days, anyone can design and build a car with the quality and features you want. And the safety you need. That's easy. We designed and built the all-new 1995 Lumina. So most people can afford it. And that's what makes the new Lumina a genuine Chevrolet.
From across the seas, Beck's delivers the grand tradition and taste of the German art of brewing. Beck's, the #1 imported German beer.
What tire do you trust in the wet? A tire that removes over 2 gallons of water per second from under the tread. The all-season MX-4. Another engineering splash from Michelin.
Oh, come on. No.
Great. The issue is auto theft. It's out of control. Liberty Mutual is the first insurer to give police tracking devices that get stolen cars back 95% of the time. And these devices also help catch the thieves. So you both get what you deserve. Liberty Mutual, facing the issues that face our customers.
A stripper murdered. Nobody saw a thing. I got the gun. A cover-up will let the killer walk. There's nothing you can do about it. One cop won't stand for it.
This has nothing to do with the law.
Based on the actual case, Brian Dennehy, Charles Dutton, Jack Reed, NBC Tonight.
Unhappy Steve Walsh on the left, and Mickey Washington with his second interception. The gladiator for the Buffalo Bills. Bill Brooks wrapped up in the flat by John Mangum. That's only the first interception of the season for Walsh, and only the 4th turnover takeaway from the Bears, who are tied with Philadelphia for the league lead coming in.
And you know, Dick, coming off the sideline, I think that's a pre-designed play. Go deep. I wonder why.
Bills lead at 13 to 10. Third quarter, 9:20 left. Davis down. A loss of a yard. Joe Kane.
This Chicago defense built on speed, not size. Today is a perfect example of that. Bob Slowick, the defensive coordinator right there, a lot like Dallas's defense, will sacrifice size for speed. These linebackers can run sideline to sideline.
Philly has to throw it away, and a flag is down. No one open. Good coverage by the Bears. Kelly with the pressure from Albert Fontenot. Slow getting up. Holding Buffalo. And the Bears will decline, force the punt. Kelly shaking a bit.
Holding by the offense, number 68. The penalty is declined. Brings up fourth down.
Corbin Lucina, who happened to go to the same high school near St. Paul, Minnesota, as quarterback Steve Walsh of the Bears. He was an 8th grader when Walsh was a graduating senior from high school.
837.
Conway back inside the Bear 15 as Moore punts for the 4th time. He's kicked well going into the wind. Another good spiral. Conway at the 24 eludes Tasker, and he's out across the 35-yard line. 36-yard kick, 12 on the return. Darryl Talley getting under that uniform a new piece of equipment, a tattoo.
Yeah, there's Spider-Man. Last year he wore the Spider-Man outfit underneath to keep warm. The league fined him $25,000.
That was total for the whole year.
For the whole year. So there's the web that Darryl Talley would like Buffalo, Chicago Bear running backs to run into.
But the tattoo cost him $70. He said, I could have saved $24,000.
A lot. A lot. Spider-Man.
What a player. So many good years at Buffalo. Part of that core championship builds. Tillman. Oh, no one brought him down, so he came out of the pile and out to the 42, and with it a flag. A little face mask in there by Darby, I believe. Cornelius Bennett arguing his case. It is the 5-yard penalty.
Is it Biscuit? I don't know.
Face mask by the defense. It was a 5-yard penalty only, but it resulted in a first down.
Out to the 47.
Hard to pick out whose hand was across the face mask, but it looked like it's just laying on the face mask. But nevertheless, the flag.
Fans booing because they wanted the 15, as they were ticketed. The Bears ticketed with a 15 on the Bills scoring drive that took the lead 13-10. 8 minutes and change left in the third. Slow first half opening up here in this third quarter. Offensively. Tillman. Jackson State, where he broke the records of his sweetness, the great Walter Payton, and now he finds himself playing the same ball yard as Payton in his great career as a pro.
There's Conway and Mickey Washington. Washington, well, this is good thing they blow the whistle and go to the huddle. You know, you can go back and talk to your manager. And should I lead with the right or the left on the next play?
Yeah, body punches are key.
Yeah.
Stay down there. Double hook. Tillman got 3 on first down. To the rookie, Raymond Harris runs right into the arms of Mark Maddox and others. And a gain of maybe 2 more. Fans want something more explosive. Wanstead looking for the big plays. We're going to have to come up with something big. We can't just grind it up.
A gain of 2.
Everyone points the finger at Dave Wanstead, too. The offensive coordinator is Ron Turner. Dave spends about 90% of his time with the defense, just makes suggestions to the offense. They're trying to run the West Coast offense. There's Ron Turner there. Joe Pendry, the running back, kind of the offensive brain trust to the Bears.
Tim Worley, the Steelers' #1 pick in '89, comes in for the first time on offense. Incomplete for Conway, who trapped it at the 37-yard line. Washington on the coverage, and it was Talley coming through to pressure Walsh.
It's a tough release. Washington again all over Conway, and that ball does bounce. And Darryl Talley makes him shorten his arm a little bit. Can't really follow through to make the completion.
Jeff Burris back at the Buffalo 10 as Gardocki ready to kick. Douglas can't save it. Had his hands on it inside the 5. Saying he had touched it out there, but that didn't matter. Rolled into the end zone. Touchback to Buffalo. 49-yard punt, 29 net. Bills by 3.
It still bugs me that I waited to try Old Spice High Endurance just because I thought all deodorants worked the same. Dumb. This proves it's the best. Better than the leading stick. It evaporates less quickly. It also lasts longer. Protects better. You can't ignore that. Or this guarantee. Try it. If you don't think it's the best, call 1-800-PROVE-IT, and they'll buy you a stick of yours. You got to figure anyone that serious about deodorant deserves a serious shot. Come on. Take the High Endurance Challenge from Old Spice. I did.
People tell us we beat up our trucks more in our commercials than they'd ever dream of. Well, they should be on one of our assembly lines when we snatch a truck at random and literally rip it limb from limb to test every body weld in a Chevy truck, all 1,437 of them. But for those of you who think there's too much violence on TV, these next few seconds are for you. Time's up.
85 Bears onto the Super Bowl. Sean Gale, Kevin Butler, Mark Bortz, the only 3 left from Ditka's Super Bowl champions. Sean Gale is certainly more than a number. In fact, he's a successful author, high grades from the critics and the sales. Little Quarterback, 1 of 4, written by Sean Gale. They're aimed for, I'd say kindergarten, second grade children, teaching them it's all right to have self-esteem and high moral principles. And they're nicely illustrated, and quite an effort by a young man. Said that he's always been interested in education.
Yeah, degree in education. Took him 16 hours to write the first one. The rest of them been a little easier than that. Has 2 more coming out later on this year.
Tim Kelly with his team ahead 13-10, screen tip to Davis. He gets short yardage out of bounds at the 22. Gale, who is fortunate that he's still playing football, had a terrible scare. It was around 1988 when against the Lions he fractured the 7th vertebra, 2 fractures in it, and could have been career-ending.
He continued to play too.
Underneath to the tight end Metzelars for 4 yards. They're going to mark it close to the 27-yard line, where it'll be 3rd and 3.
When Gale hurt his neck, he continued to play in that game. Several weeks later, he had a little numbness in his fingers. They x-rayed it and discovered that it was, in fact, more than 1 fracture in that 7th vertebra. Recovered fine, no spinal cord injury.
To Davis. Complete, but shy of the first down. No, now they say incomplete. Would not have been a first down anyway. The Bears defense gets a salute from the Soldier Field crowd.
They've tried that screen a lot today. Bears have defensed it beautifully.
So Moore once again in to punt. Conway back to his 30. Moore grew up in Thompson, Georgia, the same hometown as Ray Gunn. Another excellent kick. Into the wind, Conway fair catch at the Bears' 31-yard line, and we have a timeout. 42-yard punt for Chris Moore.
Now, buy any McDonald's Extra Value meal, and for just 39 cents more, you can supersize it for more fries and more drink. Plus, you'll get a super ticket that could win you one of 200 trips for two to this year's Super Bowl in Miami. Just scratch your super ticket to reveal your number. Then take it to McDonald's to see if it's a winner. It could be worth a free trip for two to Super Bowl 29.
Free Super Bowl tickets? Yeah, where's the sport in that?
First in line for supersize.
A ticket freebie, fella.
Hurry into McDonald's to see if you're a winner.
Sergeant Super Ticket. Mr. Going to Miami, man.
Don't you wish we could just do this to air pollution? In a way we can. If homes and industries, power plants and vehicles would just switch to natural gas. Clean, economical, natural gas. Think what we'll save.
Okay, if I move back from the sun, that's the Earth, and the moon, that's about the same. Let's see how far Saturn is. Wow, 1 billion miles.
Doing your homework?
Yeah, almost done.
What powerful PC processor gives programs like Redshift out-of-this-world performance?
Now let's see. The Kiraki system.
The Intel Pentium processor.
Next Sunday, a blockbuster doubleheader. First, Dan Marino and the Dolphins take on Jim Kelly and the Bills. Then, Joe Montana and the Chiefs face Junior Seau and the Chargers. Or Jeff Hostetler and the Raiders battle Drew Bledsoe and the Patriots. Or regional action.
The NFL on NBC. Nothing's more American.
Next Sunday.
The Buffalo Bills have been sensational since 1988, the first 2 months of the season. 40 wins, only 9 losses. So good. Look at the teams for the entire seasons total have only won 40 or less. Time champions of the AFC, hanging on to a 13-10 lead as the Bears go to work. Over the middle, complete, and a good catch by Jeff Graham. That was a tough ball. Thomas Smith, the corner, made the tackle.
Again, good play-action fake. Held the linebackers in there. Walsh is pretty nifty with the play-action fake. Smith comes up with a chuck. As a receiver, you don't mind the contact. You just want to win the contact. Bounce off him. Use him as leverage, and a nice completion for a first down.
11 yards on the play. Graham was the 6th pick of the 91 draft of wide receivers. Marshbrook in motion. Flag down. Throw to Getney. About 10 more yards, but the flag is down.
Flag before the snap. False start
against the Bears.
Well, that play's been wide open all day. They've only completed it twice, but they can continue to run it until Buffalo spends some time on it and comes up with coverage.
False start by the offense, number 71, prior to the snap. There was no play. 5-yard penalty, remains first down. Please add 5 seconds to the clock.
James Williams just moving a little too soon.
Was drafted as a defensive lineman. Mike Ditka staff changed him to offense. And this is his first year, really, as an offensive starter.
Free agent out of Cheney State, where they were 0-11 as seniors. No one gave him any attention. Walsh goes out, and steered nicely by Graham. He's made a couple of good catches on this drive. Out of bounds at the 46-yard line. Got about 9 on the play. Thomas Smith.
From behind the defense, looking right at the free safety. He knows where that receiver is. Tally underneath. Smith there also. I mean, that's throwing right to the... Watch Tally drop out there. That's taking a chance with that reception, but Walsh has great confidence in his arm to get it out there and make the completion.
4 catches, 53 yards for Graham. First down at the Bills' 45. Jackie Washington, Mark Maddox with the stop.
He's made one bad choice today, and that resulted in an interception. Otherwise, Steve Walsh has played right to his character and his strength. Make the right choices. Take the high percentage completions. Mike Shula, yes, son of tight ends coach, signaling in the plays from Ron Turner, the offensive coordinator.
He wouldn't commit himself to you as to whether he's rooting for dad or brother in that matchup later.
He said, let's talk about something else.
For blockers, but nothing open for him. A gain of a yard. Almost motored out there as if he was going to throw a pass, didn't he?
Yeah, kind of floated a little bit, waited for the blocking to catch up with him. I'll tell you one thing. The Bears have found another fullback. This Raymond Harris kid, number 29, he was the lead blocker again. This kid is taking advantage of this opportunity. Merrill Hodge in the hospital with, he has the chin stitched up and possible concussion. This kid's making very good out of this opportunity here, Dick.
Running and blocking. 2nd and 9. Walsh down the middle. Oh, the tight end, Gedney, could not pull that one in. Covered well by Mark Maddox.
Thrown just to his left hip as he's running the crossing pattern. Should come from the left to right. Yeah, you can see the tight end making Maddox is right underneath him. Just thrown behind him ever so slightly. If he has to stretch out in front and make the completion. And Raymond Harris, another good job picking up the linebacker blitzing.
Marcus Patton coming through. 3rd and 9. Bears have converted only twice on 3rd down. Wide open is Conway. They make the play this time. It's a first down at the 31. 13 yards.
Washington, Siddiqus is man coverage. You see Washington looking right at Conway. Conway is a big receiver. Gained 12 pounds from last year. There's Walt Corey, the defensive coordinator. He's going to have to put a little more pressure on those wide receivers.
Guess he doesn't use the swizzle stick on the road, huh?
He's got a 2-quarter swizzle stick. Doesn't last the whole game.
Trailing by 3. The Bears are first down at the 31. Worley plows for almost 5. You check the other scores. Saints trying to end the unbeaten start of the Giants. And how about the Philadelphia Eagles at Candlestick? Perhaps all those line injuries in front of Steve Young starting to create some problems.
Yeah, but that's a great offensive performance by Randall Cunningham and the Philadelphia Eagles.
And the Bears, should Minnesota be beaten by Arizona, would have a chance to move into first place in the Central Division. Up, contact by Michael Otish. Whether or not he was drawn off, we'll soon learn.
Dick, speaking of that, the chance that the Bears could break out on top in the NFC Central. I think one of the worst things that happened to the Bears last year, as we're going to hear the call.
By the defense, number 73, 5-yard penalty. It remains 2nd down.
One of the worst things to happen to the Chicago Bears last year is they were 7-5 after 12 games, and there was talk around the league and also Chicago, gee whiz, they might make a trip to the playoffs. Then they lose 4 straight. This is a young team. This is a team that wants that's building for the future. Nothing worse could have happened to the team than that.
2nd and about 1.5 yards. The first down. A good tackle by Thomas Smith, 2nd-year corner from North Carolina, to deny something even bigger. But the Bears hear that happy news. Another 4 downs.
That was a nice job by Tim Worley. He stayed right behind the lead blocker, Raymond Harris, long enough to draw the defense in, then bounced outside.
Jeff Wright had a piece of him as well as the final seconds of the third quarter. See if Walsh and the Bears decide to run another play. Don't have to. Trailing 13-10. But certainly well in position for a tying field goal, but looking for a touchdown, and the lead will be back after these messages from your local station.
Tonight on Unsolved Mysteries, they claim a ghost has haunted this hotel for years. Now she'll meet the real Ghostbusters. All new Unsolved Mysteries, NBC tonight.
Okay, look over here, guys.
Pretty sharp there, Ben.
There he is.
Here comes the bus.
Hurry.
Come on. Okay, big boy.
Mom, maybe you better take care of Bear.
This is the Ferguson family. And the Fergusons are just about out of gas. And when the Fergusons start running on empty, they come to a Red Apple Quick Fill. When you've got something that's running on empty, come to a Red Apple Quick Fill. For 3 excellent Quick Fill gasolines to fill you up and hundreds of your favorite food and fountain items to fill up on. Red Apple Quick Fill. For all you've got that's running on empty.
Congratulations on your new baby. Naturally, you want all the benefits that come with HMO membership. But you also want the security of knowing you can seek medical care anywhere in the world, even without a referral. Now, you can have both. Choice Care, a new generation of health care.
This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the NFL is prohibited.
Buffalo Bills, after losing their opener, 3 straight wins coming into Chicago, have a tenuous 13-10 advantage over the Bears, looking for their 3rd win to go 3-2. It's 2nd and 10 as we open the 4th quarter. Raymond Harris. Henry Jones makes the tackle, but the catch is good down to the 10-yard line.
Having spent several years with Archie Griffin with the Cincinnati Bengals, I know that Raymond Harris had to teach himself to catch the ball. Running backs from Ohio State have one responsibility: carry it, not catch it. That was a fine catch. That's a tough catch running straight away from that football.
Pickup of 8. Long drive by the Bears, something that they showed the New York Jets a week ago. It's the longest drive by either team today. Harris breaks a tackle, and he's to the 6. First down. They had him in the backfield. Appeared to be Marcus Patton, but Harris would not have anything to do with that first hit and drives 4 yards and a first down.
Boy, you called it, Dick. Went right through the tackle here. No one touches him. And Raymond Harris, good, strong legs. Just takes a little half move to the left. For all rights, he should have been stopped in the backfield. Turns it into what, a 4-yard gain, 5-yard gain?
First and goal to the 6-yard line. Harris running and blocking. The rookie having his best game of the season. Tillman, who looked as if he had enough room to go, and then bang, it closed in a hurry.
Again, Raymond Harris, good lead block, should be coming right at you. 29 on 55 Mannix. And good close by Patton and also Henry Jones, number 20. But that's a nice lead block by this rookie.
Sounded like Raymond Harris's agent here, Bob.
Oh, I just think he can buy that condo overlooking Lake Michigan. He's going to be here a while.
Second and goal, 13th play of the drive. Tillman to the goal line, not quite. They mark it inside the 1. Maddox on on top of the pile and plenty of help underneath.
Yep, a little crowded in there. No real running space. Good job, Buffalo. Just kind of making a big mess of it. He stretched out a little bit. Harris again on the lead block. They run a little fold. Leuenberg, 58, kicks out. Couldn't quite get in the end zone.
Remember, in the first quarter, the Bears were down to the 1-yard line and went for it on 4th and inches and were stopped at the 1. The difference in the game to this point. No signal yet. Right on the goal line. And they're going to mark it there, the left foot.
And you know Wannstedt wants to go for it. He wants to go for it.
Same situation, almost identical. Although they could have picked up a first down. It was inside the 1, and Wannstedt says what the fans want, what his players want. Knock it home. Gedney, Cook, and Todd Perry is the third tight end. Perry a tackle, number 75. Sneaks it and scores! Center Jerry Fontenot and the guards Bortz and Leuenberg just wedge it ahead, and Walsh on their back for the touchdown.
Bears fans certainly like the 6 points. But I think they're applauding just as hard for the decision to go for it on 4th.
Butler's try for point. And a flag. Let's go back to the touchdown while we have a moment.
Walsh chooses the left side behind the center. And the left guard keeps fighting, keeps struggling. Everybody's pushing. By that, now the signal's already up.
Number 78.
It is a score.
5-yard penalty will be forced on the kickoff.
Against Bruce Smith. And just did get that ball on that goal line. All you have to do is the nose of the ball touch that front part of the white line. Break the plane. It's 17-13 Chicago. 69-yard drive and 15 plays. Dave Wannstedt loves what he sees. The Bears reclaim the lead.
Suppose you wanted to make a chair as stable as can be. Where would you put the legs? Right at the corners, right? Now, suppose you wanted to make a car as stable as can be. Where would you put the wheels? Right. That's why the Intrepid is so remarkably stable. The wheels are pushed out toward the corners. The further we pushed, the more stable and sure-footed it became. Dodge Intrepid. This changes everything.
You got the winning color. My brother told me if I'll change my oil, I'll get a lot of miles out of my truck. I use Pennzoil, and I change it every 3,000 miles.
Now with the revolutionary Pennstar molecule, Pennzoil clings to moving parts. Works like liquid ball bearings.
Play Pennzoil's Ticket to Ride game. Scratch, match, and win one of 10 Harley-Davidson Softail motorcycles, one of 10 Harley-Davidson leather jackets, or one of 1,000 other prizes. Get game cards where you buy Pennzoil or have your oil changed professionally with Pennzoil.
Let's play Coca-Cola Monsters of the Gridiron. The challenger, Chris Weiss. His opponent, Emmett Lone Star Sheriff Smith of the Dallas Cowboys. Chris goes left.
I wouldn't go that way.
The kid fakes right.
You're mine.
He goes up the middle. Touchdown!
Me, burnt by a kid.
Bring home specially marked Coca-Cola products. Collect Monster trading cards and play Monsters of the Gridiron. You can win Super Bowl tickets or one of 8 million prizes.
You're next.
NFL on NBC is brought to you by Dodge. The more things change, the more things look like the new Dodge. By the U.S. Navy, you and the Navy, full speed ahead. By Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires. And by Coca-Cola Classic, the official soft drink of the NFL. Always a scream, always Coca-Cola.
Well, the Buffalo Bills find themselves on the short end, 17-13. as Walsh takes the Bears 69 yards in 15 plays. Took over 9 minutes the drive. Walsh on his feet for the touchdown. Russell Copeland at the 6. And hit at the 17-yard line. Downfield, Maurice Douglas, the special team star of the Bears. More excitement next week. The NFL, a doubleheader here on NBC. The early games, Bob and I will be at Rich Stadium as the Dolphins and Bills renew their rivalry. The Colts will be at the Jets early. And the second half, Kansas City, Montana at San Diego. The unbeaten Chargers and Stan Humphrey. Raiders at New England, Denver, Seattle. All starts at 12:30 Eastern. Only a yard as Kenneth Davis wrapped up.
But that ball was snapped almost to Kelly. It's supposed to go to the running back, but watch what happens. Kelly has great presence of mind here. That's not the way the play's designed. Davis is lucky he hung on to it.
Kelly 17 for 28 passing. One touchdown, one interception. How to get out of there? And he makes the slide at the 30, first down.
Now, Dick, what Chicago now has to deal with is this Buffalo football team knows how to win. Since '88, they've proven it to everybody in the league but the Dallas Cowboys in the Super Bowl. They will not get flustered. They know how to win.
And plenty of time as Kelly working out of the shotgun. Flags are down. Reed twisted at the 45-yard line. A 15-yard play hit. Nope, it's a motion against the Bills. Well, that's part of the maturity of Marv Levy's team that you don't see often, even though it's that hurry-up offense where you might expect motion penalties more often. They don't.
Illegal motion by the offense, number 83, who's not set for 1 second. 5-yard feet, first down.
So Andre Reed, not the full 1 second in the quizzical expression from Reed.
Part of that is the receivers must look in to see the call by the quarterback and then have turned around quick enough.
First down 15 for Kelly. Screen it to Davis. To the 29-yard line. Gets the 5 yards back. But they lost on the penalty, and we're under 10 minutes to go in this fourth period. Past Joe Ferguson as the all-time touchdown passer in Buffalo Bills history. Whoa, the Cox come flying through there, and the pass is short, intended for Bill Brooks. Ron Cox firing through a hole, almost got to Kelly, and he did force a premature throw.
Boy, it doesn't appear that anyone laid a glove on Cox. It looks like, yeah. Parker, 74, tries to come in and help. And if Parker doesn't knock him out of the way, he's right in Jim Kelly's chest.
Crowd on its feet. Intercepted. Jeremy Lincoln's first of the year.
Excellent coverage by Jeremy Lincoln. He has a better break on the ball than does Don Beebe. 8th interception thrown by Jim Kelly so far this year.
We're into the future.
Mommy's lost. Mommy's lost.
Not this mommy. Not in this car.
Avis announces Avis Satellite Guidance, now being road tested in California. One more way the employee owners of Avis are making the future safer, faster, and better.
Destination ahead.
You found us.
To make Dodge Intrepid more spacious, we move the wheels that normally go here, out, and back to here. Up front, the wheels that were here were moved out to here. It's a concept called cab forward that yields astonishing room for people like me. While good things like wider doors, sports car handling, and superb aerodynamics came along for the ride. Dodge Intrepid. This changes everything.
This is one long game.
They even ran out of food.
The fans must be hungry.
I'll tell you about hungry.
When it's gotta be good and it's gotta be now. Pick up the phone, we're gonna knock you out.
Call for a large 2-topping crunchy thin crust pizza and get a medium 1-topping pizza free.
Did you see that?
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Call Domino's now. Buy a large 2-topping crunchy thin crust pizza and we'll give you a medium pizza free.
Soldier Field, Marv Levy, Chicago native. He said last night that the key to the game, he said, is every game, turnovers, and he's been keeping a stat on when a team has a +2 in turnovers. They're 26-0. The Bears are now a +2 in the turnover table today. And the give is to the rookie, Raymond Harris. Bruce Smith makes the tackle. Make that Tillman with the carry behind Harris. And with a 4-point lead, 17-13, Jeremy Lincoln's interception at the Buffalo 37. We'll see if that pays another dividend for Wanstead.
There's Kelly talking to Frank Reich, and maybe they need Thurman Thomas a little more than this offense thinks. Who battles to the 30-yard line, a pickup of nearly 6. Dick,
Thomas Smith, the tackler.
Excuse me, Dick, we discovered something yesterday when we were out at Hallis Hall. Dave Wanstead and his coaches gives each one of these players a test, a written test. First of all, they do it in front of their teammates who are up at the chalkboard, and then secondly, they do it individually. He does that so that young guys like Raymond Harris can be rookies, come in here, know everything there is about the offense, and have an impact. It's certainly proven positive today.
Walsh has to flip it, and up from the secondary, Henry Jones was all over the play.
Yeah, if he looks back at the quarterback, I think he is. Yep, he can make the catch and go all the way.
All right, he's gone for it on 4th down twice today. Failed at the 1, scored from the 1. Now, and he tried a 50-yard field goal and made it. The first time this year in the NFL, a 50-yard field goal has been successfully booted after we had a rash of them in past season.
Yeah, you're not supposed to have this many tough decisions in one game.
Butler stays on the sidelines. Robert Green, a good pass receiver, comes into the backfield on 4th and 3. On the play.
Well, they can get rid of their punter. They can get rid of their place kicker here. 4th down means nothing to Dave Wanstead. But he shows great confidence in this young team. There's Jim Kelly is watching. Oh, man.
First down at the 18 as Walsh finds Conway again. 6:48 left in this 4th quarter. Raymond Harris. Boy, he hit that line so hard he fired right into the back of his blocker, and he knocked Jerry Fontenot, a 285-pound center, 5 yards downfield.
He's going to be sore. He's going to be aching tomorrow, and it's going to feel great. It's going to feel wonderful. He's wanted this opportunity, and finally, because of the injury to Merrill House, he gets his chance.
He's rushed 8 times for 34, 4 catches, 16 more, so he has a 50-yard day, but that doesn't tell the story. He is blocked extraordinarily well. Harris again. And you really have to watch the pile because he keeps moving it forward. A gain of 3 more. It'll be 3rd down and about 3.
Harris also, good job, both hands on the football, making sure no one tears it away. See Kelly on the sideline.
Kelly hoping that the defense can hold, force a field goal, keep the Bills within a touchdown. Chicago 17, Buffalo 13.
When we talked to the Bills last night, they were pretty confident. But there was also the accusation that, go ahead, Dick.
3rd and 3.
About the 4th time they completed that pass.
They've done a great job of setting up on those quick pass plays, so they have a receiver isolated one-on-one, and that quick slant has been open all day.
Just a slant pass. 3-step drop again, fine, accurate throw. There were people that said Buffalo, after a big win last Monday night against Denver, looking past Chicago to Miami, they were right. That's exactly what's happened. Take nothing away from Chicago, but Buffalo has been a puppy today.
Timeout called by Walsh. The Bears don't want to make a mistake. They have 4 shots from the 1-yard line.
With the only V8 offered in its class, Dakota Club Cab has more. More horsepower. More maximum payload. More room inside. 50 cubic feet more than Ford Ranger or Chevy S10. Oh yeah, and it also tows more. Dakota Club Cab. A little bigger, a lot better. At America's Truck Stop, the new Dodge.
Hi, Elvira here, finding great horror movies for the Coors Light Flick or Treat giveaway. Coors! Huh? We're giving away 50,000 videos, like the giant Gila monster, the wasp woman, or the brain that wouldn't die. Don't just stand there. Look for me this Halloween in a shocking display of specially marked Coors packages with film clips inside that tell you if you won. The Coors Light Flick or Treat giveaway. It'll be a scream.
Get ready for the season with Fall Car Care Days at Napa, where you'll find quality Napa parts at low prices. Right now, a Napa Power 60-month battery is only $29.99 after mail-in rebate. Napa Silver oil filters are as low as $1.99, and a WD-40 Twin Pack is just $3.88. So pull into your nearest Napa Auto Parts store soon for Fall Car Care Days.
We keep America running. We keep America running.
He won the Preakness. He won the Belmont. Now Tabasco Cat runs in the final prep for racing's championship day. The Breeders' Cup preview next Saturday on NBC. A mother-to-be murdered. The father-to-be did it.
Tell him I'm coming after him.
Based on the actual case, Brian Dennehy. All-new Jack Reed movie, NBC tonight.
Chicago Bears with the lead and the ball resting on the 1-yard line. 1st and goal. The Bills with a tough goal line defense, hoping to deny, and Kelly thinking ahead, won't have much time, especially if the Bears score 6. 4:37 left in the 4th. Take to Tillman. Almost intercepted, as that didn't fool anyone. Mark Maddox in front of Gedney, almost with the interception.
Dick, the play fake was so good that if they hand it to Tillman, he scores. Watch. See, he blocked. I mean, they should have run it. It would have been a lot better off. He was very lucky that that ball's not intercepted.
2nd and goal. Maddox, who played for the Wildcats of Northern Michigan, the middle backer. Shoulder to shoulder for the Bills. Tillman met right at the line of scrimmage. Oh, what a charge. Maddox in the middle. Talley was there. And down on the bottom of the pile, Marcus Patton. 3rd and goal.
Excellent job by the Buffalo Bills defense. They're pinching down. You see Bruce Muth, everybody. Smith makes the first contact. Excellent job by the Buffalo defense. They may score, but Buffalo's not going to let it be easy.
And by the time they execute this play, they'll be Less than 4 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Tillman, smothered for a loss. Not a chance. Bruce Smith said, I don't have all that hardware up on my mantle at home for nothing. 4th and goal, and now they will try the field goal with Butler, which would give them a 7-point lead.
Watch this inside crash move. Perry can't get in it. Ooh, an angry man. And when Bruce Smith is angry, he can wreak some havoc.
Well, the Bills showing their defensive mettle. 1st and goal from the 1-yard line, and on 4th down, the Bears are 2 yards farther away from the goal line than when they started.
Better hurry here. They've only got 5 seconds now, 4 to get this kick off.
And no more than an extra point. Butler booms it through. A 20-yard field goal. 3:08 left. Chicago by 7.
Wendy's celebrates 25 years of being the best in the business. Trailing the Vikings 14-10 with less than a minute to play in the 1975 playoffs, the Cowboys needed a miracle. Can you remember which receiver answered Dallas's prayers?
Since Wendy's announced a new chicken sandwich.
Dave's buying bacon. That old fox.
Everyone's guessing about the toppings.
Me, I think Virginia Hicks. A little birdie told me it's going to be watercress.
It's guacamole.
What's the word? Marinara sauce.
Yes.
Hey, I'm the coach. I'm telling you, it's got to be shiitake mushrooms.
Introducing Wendy's Chicken Bacon Swiss. A whole breast fillet, 3 strips of bacon Swiss, and a tangy sauce.
What's Dave going to put on top? Honey, I don't have a clue.
I just wanted to make it delicious.
Roger takes the snap, pumps it once. He's going long.
Roger Staubach found Drew Pearson for the touchdown forever remembered as the Hail Mary. Another great football moment as Wendy's celebrates 25 years of being the best in the business.
We gave Dodge Ram the most powerful overall line of truck engines on the planet. The driver's side airbag. The option of 4-wheel anti-lock brakes. A cab designed to set the standard for comfort and room. Then, after we made Ram that good, we made it this bad. Introducing the new Ram Sport. At America's truck stop, the new Dodge.
Next Sunday, a blockbuster doubleheader. First, Dan Marino and the Dolphins take on Jim Kelly and the Bills. Then, Joe Montana and the Chiefs face Junior Seau and the Chargers. Or Jeff Hostetler and the Raiders battle Drew Bledsoe and the Patriots. Or regional action.
The NFL on NBC. Nothing's more American.
Next Sunday.
Back at Soldier Field, Chicago. The shadows now covering the turf here at Soldier Field. Converting turnovers, 10 points for Chicago. They lead by 7 and were stopped on the 1-yard line on the fumble. Gardocki to the rookie Jourdain. Second-year man Jourdain from Southern Illinois. Grew up in Haiti. 30-yard line, the tackle made by Robert Green. The city of Chicago. You betcha, Frank. City with broad shoulders, and that's the background tonight for a world premiere movie starring Brian Dennehy. Dennehy involved in the acting, the writing, and the directing. It's about a real-life character, Jack Reed, a former Cook County Sheriff investigator who cracked a mystery case. Don't miss it tonight. To Metzelar. Still a mystery here. 7 points the difference. The Bills with plenty of time for their hurry-up offense.
That's exactly right, Dick. And again, this offense has struggled all day long, but they'll not be flustered.
Flag down. Beatty would be a first down at the 44 of Buffalo. Head linesman tossed the flag, and another motion penalty against Buffalo.
Well, he had one on Andre Reed that negated a good long play on the last series. Who's it on this time?
Illegal shift.
Illegal shift.
The
2 men moving at the same time.
Second down.
These two guys apparently were both moving. Yeah, they weren't set. No question. That's on Jim Kelly. That's on Jim Kelly. He's got to look and make sure they're set.
Kelly with only 116 passing yards today. Beebe diving, no catch at the 43-yard line.
The quarterback in this offense is in charge of so many things, and Jim Kelly knows that one of the things he's got to be in charge of is making sure his offense is set. Beebe tries to make the dive, but the ball gets right through his hands.
Oh, Kelly, who is, by his standards, had a subpar start to this 94 season, has to come up with something big. In trouble, Alonzo Spellman with a sack. Marv Levy calls time with 2:19 left.
Spellman, size 18.5 shoes. He's inside at tackle there. Jumps over Kenneth Davis. Was a basketball player of some success in high school. A superb athlete.
Went to the same high school as Franco Harris in New Jersey. And Steve Walsh, who would like to be the starting quarterback again next week when New Orleans comes to town. He liked to play against Jim Mora and his former Saints teammates.
But, you know, Dave Wannstedt has said to the press here in Chicago that Kramer's his starting quarterback. But do I understand when he talked to Mike Ditka that he said if the Bears win today, who's your starting quarterback next week? He said Steve Walsh.
That's correct. That's what he told Ditka. Well, on 4th and 21, unless a fake, Moore's going to punt it away with 2:19 left. Jeff Graham at the 47 of Chicago. Very impressive performance by these Bears. Sliding kick, Graham lets that one bounce. That's going to really help Moore's average as it rolls to the 20-yard line. 61 yards for Chris Moore. Mike Ditka.
I want to ask you one dumb question. If you win the game Sunday, and I think you can, who do you start the following week? Steve Walsh. Good answer.
That was part of the interview Ditka and Wannstedt conducted yesterday morning out at Hallis Hall, and no hesitation as Wannstedt indicated Walsh was his man.
Hey, his kids deserved it. One mistake today. That one where he kind of tossed up, and I got the feeling that he was told to do that from the sideline.
A long pass. Obviously, his artistry is the short-range passes. He's picked the Bills apart with those plays, 20-13. And Chicago obviously will try to run out the clock as it ticks down to the 2-minute timeout.
Rangers, Cherokees, Broncos, Explorers, Pathfinders, Blazers. Any pickup or 4x4, on-road or off. Boy, do we have a tire for you. The tough LTX Light Truck Series from Michelin.
Wayne Winfield and Ron Williams were two of the most heavily recruited high school kids in the country. Of course, it wasn't for their game. It was for their minds. And thanks to the Navy College Fund and the Montgomery GI Bill, they have a chance to really use them because they can earn up to $30,000 for college. So, even if the NBA isn't in their future, I guess that's game. A BA is. For more information, call 1-800-USA-NAVY.
This is great. Don't you get it? We're dead. We don't get it if by 11 we're shut out. Game is over.
Dave, just tell him to send over a copy. Don't panic.
There's no copy. We didn't have time.
We're dead.
That's what I said. We're dead. I just said we're dead.
At Compaq, we realize you never know when you're going to need information or where. So we created Aero, a powerful computer so small and lightweight you'll never be tempted to leave it behind.
See? No reason to panic. I'm buying lunch.
Lunch? You mean dinner?
It's a cloud of insanity.
It's inside my head.
They can't touch it.
It's just an illusion.
It's in the air they breathe.
It's growing stronger.
And trying to stop it
Becoming conscious.
will only give it life.
It's the face of God.
Journey into the unknown. Sequest, NBC Tonight.
2 minutes to go. The Bills have 2 timeouts remaining. It's 2nd down and 7 at the 23-yard line. Bears certainly reminded during that break, hold on to the ball. They've shut down the Buffalo attack, the Bears, allowing only 71 yards the second half. Out to the 28-yard line, burrowing is Raymond Harris, the rookie, and the Ohio State Buckeye is going to get a lot of raves from more than just Bob Trumpy. You saw it early. This young man is a talent.
It's odd and rare that you've got a rookie replacing a veteran like Merrill Hodge in an injury situation. I mean, this kid has not missed a block. He's not missed a carry. He's not missed a reception.
3rd and 2. I'd like to salute those who have brought you the sounds and sights of this game from Soldier Field. Executive producer of NBC Sports is Tommy Roy. Coordinating producer of the NFL on NBC, and today's producer in Chicago, John Faratzis. Today's game directed by John Gonzalez, Associate Director Ed Fibishoff, Technical Director Mitch Keller, Bill Herbstman, our production associates, statistician, the mighty slingshot Ross Schneiderman, production manager Tim DeKheim, and technical manager Joe Rasnick, and all the men and women who have brought you this NFL game. Somewhat of a surprise, I guess.
Yes.
The Bears handling this Bills offense so well, and perhaps, you know, the Bills in their struggle in the opener against the Jets were saying something, that they aren't quite the omnipotent team that they have been the last 4 years in the AFC. Big play here. This is for the game, 3rd and 2. It's a first down, and that should do it for Chicago. The Bills will spend their final timeout, and then it's just up to Chicago to kneel down and Dave Wanstead to go 3 and 2. And the latest report from Arizona is that the Cardinals lead Minnesota 17-7. That means that all the key Central Division teams losing. Detroit, Minnesota, Green Bay, Chicago wins, and suddenly in one Sunday there are the Bears, 3 and 2, first place in the Central.
And you know, the other thing is too, is that for Dave Wanstead, he's got a young football team here and a football coach with a young football team. There's a certain amount of selling. Look, you do it my way and it'll work. This is proof. They beat the AFC champion 4 times running.
Well, they measure first down. The employ owners of Avis salute this game's MVP, quarterback Steve Walsh of the Chicago Bears, as the winner of the We Try Harder Award. Steve Walsh, who has engineered a couple of key second-half drives and has his Bears on top 20-13.
Great numbers. The 1 interception, clearly a mistake, but he has thrown it to the right guy, and he's also made the right decisions.
Avis, the official rental company of the NFL.
Well, this is a huge win for this Chicago Bear football team.
The Bears will host New Orleans here next Sunday, while the Bills go back to Rich Stadium against Miami.
Wanstead, he's still coaching. They're up by 7. Wanstead still coaching. The Bills, you're right. I think they are a little more vulnerable than they used to be in previous years. Not as deep. Oh, there's
one of the great ones, number 51, Dick Butkus. He's coaching and playing, and I would imagine you need a big booth. When he starts gesturing, you just soon be out of the way. Those forearm shivers for emphasis can be tough on the play-by-play man. And Larrabee, radio voice in Chicago. Well, the Miami Dolphins then with this game as they play Cincinnati later, a chance to move into sole possession of first place in the East. New England won today 3 and 2, so Buffalo will fall into a tie with the Patriots. And the Bears go 3 and 2. Appears that Minnesota will be the same. So they'd be tied for first in the Central of the NFC. Jim Kelly One touchdown pass, but 2 interceptions, had just 116 yards of passing offense today.
And when we talked to him last evening, he was very confident, said he was fit, felt good, good shape, no problems whatsoever. They were coming off a 3-game winning streak, but no offense today.
His numbers are down this year. And certainly key to continued success in Buffalo. One more snap, and the city of Chicago can celebrate a hard-earned win. The Bears, 2013. And on 3rd down and 12, Walsh executes the exchange from center, and Dave Wannstedt, the hustling young coach of the Chicago Bears, wins it 20-13. The Bears 3-2, Buffalo 3-2. Let's go to Hannah Storm.
I'm here with Steve Walsh, who's already being besieged by the local media. Steve, you played a second solid game in a row. Do you think you deserve to start next week against your former team?
Well, we'll see how Eric's shoulder is. You know, I know it was bothering him this week again, so it's a matter of question of his health. But if he can't go, I'm going to be excited about playing against my former team.
But do you think that you deserve to start, Steve, after the way you played? I mean, this team has turned the corner now. They're above 500. It's your former team, the New Orleans Saints.
I'd love to start, but, you know, Eric is a starter. If he's healthy, he'll play. That's my standard.